The Guess Who. The Guess Who. The Guess Who with Jacob Gibbs. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now let's start the show.
You're listening to the new Rick and Bubba. Richard and Jacob. Richard Jacob. Pass the ketchup, please. It's hilarious.
Plastic gravy. Yeah. Rick and Bubba, pass the gravy, please, Rick and Bubba. I don't know, I've heard it.
Rick and Bubba. Bring me to my knees.
Yeah.
Is that right? That's what I was thinking, dude.
I've heard it 72,000 times.
I have too.
Repeat it.
That's what I was trying to think. I was like, but Richard Jacob. Which I could always change my name to something with a B. Richard Brad. You know what I mean?
Man, I can change mine to anything.
That's right. Me too.
But his name is Rick Burgess, and I done forgot Bubba's real name.
You know, I have
But if you've ever met him in person, they're as nice as anybody.
down to earth. Yeah, they are. They're very like.
I mean, I met him at Mark's Outdoors. I went down there to Rockford, and Bill Spratlin had that hunting preserve. He put a fence around about 300 acres. Well, that's before they got real big in hunting. They bought their own place and all that because they talk about it. You know, they got a deer farm now. Both of them do. And Bill Spratlin had them down there. And like I just pulled up to see Bill and Hoodley and all one day, and Rick and Bubba sitting there, and I said, you know, I hate to be starstruck. I said, but you know, I've listened to y'all for a long. I said, I've
They're like the James Spann of radio around here.
Yes, they really are. They're like a staple.
They really are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I hate to hear them go, dude.
Oh, it was a topic of conversation for 3 days. Somebody else retired at the same time. Something else come up around that same time. But Rick and Bubba kind of took over.
Yeah. So you met them down there, and
oh yeah, I met them. Well, I walked up, and you got to remember this house is built in 1920, and it's got a back porch on it, and that's where you park. They had a deer cleaning shed and all that stuff. And I just walked up, and I thought, there's Rick and Bubba. I mean,
see, I couldn't spot them out of a crowd. I don't think
they look just like they do on TV. They look just like any picture. Not one of them cars.
Well, see, and I've seen.
But now Bubba's a lot
Facebook.
more,
I've seen like their Facebook stuff.
Just like that. Like they still look just like that. But when I walked up, I said, "Yeah." I said, "Rick and Bubba." They said, "Yeah, how you doing?" I said, "Richard Roberson." Well, Bill said, "Well, my God, I've been hunting with that boy's daddy, since he was darn knee-high to a grasshopper." I said, "Well, I've been listening to y'all since 2000 when I went on the road with Forney." And I said, I look forward to it coming on every morning. I said, "I just like to shake y'all's hand." I said, "I saw y'all in Mark's Outdoors." I said, "But it was just a, hey, how you doing?" Because I was scared to say anything because y'all are celebrities. We're not celebrities. We just talk on the radio, man.
That's what people like that. I mean, they've got the personalities. We got the personalities.
It's the same.
It really is. Dude.
Yes.
It really is. I love music.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're both Christians. What else was you telling me the other day? I mean, basically,
our mothers have the same birthday. I don't know anybody else in the world except 229th.
me either.
Actually, I really don't.
I don't either. Birthdays, man, like I know a bunch of people, it's like April. April's a huge month.
Yeah, I got 2 kids and an ex-wife's in April. Yeah, you can just stack that month slide full.
So let's go 9 months back. Well, probably 9 or 10 months back.
Maybe
Go see what kind of holiday that was.
Yeah, everybody was home from work. You can be rest assured of that.
See, if you're in April, you go back. March, big one.
The mailman was off work. And there's probably a pretty good chance it was a government holiday of some sort because, everybody had... No, that's probably just randomly in the middle of the week.
Oh, golly, I messed myself up. Okay.
April's the 4th month. Go back 5, you're in August. That's when school starts.
Well, I know that's a stressful time, dude.
Well, that'd be a good way to release some stress. It just costs a couple of $1 million. They don't realize it when they're doing it.
That's right.
I got proof.
My brother told me one time, man, said, don't put a fireplace at that house. I said, why? He said, that's where two of my kids came from. Both of them. He said, I don't know what it is when you burn in that wood, man. Something about a man and a fire. You know what I'm saying?
It'll just fire you right up. It's hilarious.
I can see him sitting up there just stoking that thing a little bit. And, she's like, oh, my God, fireman.
And then it's that look.
Yes, it is.
And 3 weeks later, she's bred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and start stacking the money up because you're going to need it.
See, April, honest to God, I think I know more birthdays in April than I do anyone.
See, my family's got a bunch in November, which my daddy's family. He had Cobb, Jerry, and John Wayne was all born in November. And then Tommy, Linda's oldest son, November. Grandmother had 2 brothers. It was November. It had something to do with the war in the military. She knew that back before she got dementia and all. But, back then they kind of planned it. I mean, it wasn't planned, but they kind of knew.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't like today where you can say, well, I believe we'll just go out there and have a C-section on the 13th. It wasn't like that back then. Like it was in between wars and...
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine that? I mean, Dude, I never really thought about that, but having a baby like back in the old days.
But you got to remember, back in the old days, life was simple.
If
you think about it, look outside at the cows riding up down the road, and there ain't but 3 things they've got to do all day, every day.
Eat, sleep, and drink.
Yes, that's it. Well, back then when they didn't have a yard, I mean, they swept it.
Yeah.
They didn't have a car, so that horse was very important. And they grew everything that they ate. Literally, if it was a plant or an animal. When they tried to educate their kids as best they could, and you know what? That generation was the best one it's ever been. Like the generation before our parents that survived the Depression.
Yeah, the grandparents.
Maybe a little bit before that.
Almost like the great grandparents.
It would be close to that.
But I was riding today with an Elmer that's 80, and I am in Bayleton. Bayleton, how big is Bayleton?
Well,
small.
Yeah.
What, about 800? Maybe.
I think it's 6. It's probably smaller than that.
I think it's smaller than that. Probably.
It's got to be.
Yeah, I'd say Bayleton's like a population like 480 or something. I think that may be right, actually.
It's right on the sign somewhere.
Yeah, right here where I'm at.
They didn't count on Saturday night when the drag strip was going.
No, and
I love
the drag strip is. I love the sound of that. It sounds of summer. I know we're fixing to be swimming outside.
Yeah.
I hate to go to the actual drag strip. I don't know if this tire's burning or I don't know if it's the sound. Something gives me a killer headache, and I don't get headaches much.
It's got to be the racing fuel.
It must be. It's kind of this. It's kind of like the smell coming off of it,
That's alcohol.
Yeah, like a methanol. What do they call that?
It's methanol.
Methanol, yeah.
Yeah.
But me and Elmer was riding down the road today. He said, "I said we got to turn on Grand Forella Road," and I said, "Hey, it might be right here." He said, "Hell, ain't Grand Forella ain't right here. It's the same road the school's on." I said, "Oh." He said, "God dang, y'all use them phones all the time. Y'all wouldn't know where the hell to go if you didn't have one." I said, "You ain't lying. You could have dropped me off right here on this road, and I'd never known that I could have threw a rock and hit Parkside School right here beside me."
Yeah.
But we got to the end of one road, and he said, "You ain't gonna believe it." He said, "You see that little field right there, Lil?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's the most cotton we would get." He said, "That field was the most cotton." He said this, I don't know what the hell it was. Minerals or something?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the way the land lays. It's got to be some of the best lower lying land around there.
Yeah.
I mean, silt runs downhill, not silt like you were we under.
It was just neat, man. It's like.
But back up 80 years. I mean, we're in 1940. Ain't that? Yeah, 1940.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was during the Depression. I mean, he was born during the Depression when things was impossible. Nobody could survive.
Oh yeah, there was like 13 of them, I think.
I mean, my grandmother talks about stories of her daddy. They owned 3 grocery stores in Tarrant City, around Birmingham, around Tarrant City, in that area. Very wealthy, in 1930.
Yeah.
And when the Depression hit, he was such a good guy, good Christian man. I mean, he had my grandmother. My grandmother's mom passed away. That's when, if you had a sugar problem, there was nothing they could do. There was no medicine. I mean, she blowed up all over, couldn't get rid of it.
People died of appendicitis. They died.
Yes.
I mean, it was,
nowadays, we
gallbladder. I think gallbladder might have took a lot of people out before they realized, hey, you don't even need that thing.
Oh, no. And now they say that the life expectancy is higher. My grandmother's 93 and still kicks like a mule. I'll never get there.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm really thinking one of these days, dude, we're going to take like a pill. It's gonna be like, hey, you smoked all your life? Yeah, here, take this one. And I think I just think the way we're moving, man, it's not the way God intended.
No.
I don't think it was. I really don't.
But now I had a real good discussion about this because that IBS or whatever it is, but we never had no trouble having kids. Like me and my wife, like we planned them 2 years apart. They was really within a couple of months.
Mine, we almost got them like when we wanted them.
That's what we did.
Yeah,
Very
really and
fortunate.
truly.
Well, my sister and then a buddy of mine out in Coleman that I met a couple of years ago, they went through this IBS thing. He's a real big Christian. And he used to be a heathen. Got into church when he got married, and it's the best thing he ever done. He's a good man. Well,
You got to go through a little bit of hell to get to heaven.
yes.
I believe that, honestly.
I'm sitting here.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
a walking miracle.
You really are.
3%. And I mean, I'm a miracle. They say God don't do miracles no more. Well, I can prove that they're wrong.
Oh, I know. I know. I seen you when you was in your worst times, man.
You did.
I really did.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
that
I
was
did.
the worst.
I know I did.
But what I was going to tell you about the IBS thing is he was questioning if God wanted us to do that. And I didn't know that I wasn't the only person that had said this. My sister did the same thing. She just had Stetson. He's 5 months old.
Yeah.
And she's 37. I mean, and they've got 2 more eggs that's good ones with that mess come up on the news and all that, and everybody's worried to death, and now that it's okay. You know, they went to the right clinics and they legal, blah, blah, blah. Well, and I told Zach Chandler, I said, well, you know, there's one kicker to that is that if God didn't intend for that to happen, he would have never created a brain.
To be able to do that, yeah.
I mean, everybody says that technology this and technology that. Well, I mean, that is divine. That's how it works. And that's how I see it.
One thing that scares me, this scares me bad, not for me, for like my kids' kids, really. Okay.
100 years from now.
100 years from now.
75 years.
We're 100 years down the road.
It's 2000 and I don't even know what, 2100.
Yeah.
We're at 2100.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm in the ground.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm fertilizing.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so.
Actually, I need to get back on that topic about fertilizer because I just went to a bad view.
It's hard to explain about this because, okay, so think of a lot of this. Okay, kids are getting lazier and lazier, and they're getting more dependent on tablets, cell phones, that kind of stuff, right? Some kind of electronic device to keep them occupied. Now you have, and I'm guilty of it. I'm not even going to say I'm not. But the tablet has really become your babysitter.
It's a fact.
It is. You can go out and eat, and guess what? Oh, that tablet's on 71%. Hell, we can eat, have a few drinks, whatever.
Make sure everything's charged before we get out of the truck.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
I know.
we need to get so-and-so to sleep. I need to get Walker to sleep. Let's give him his tablet. Sleep. Yeah, and I'm afraid one of these days that, man, dude, it's just, it terrifies me to think like there's going to be people, robots and everything else is going to do the work because we've outsmarted ourselves.
But
the robots will be doing the work, all this kind of stuff. Cars will be flying. I mean, I'm saying in 100 years from now. I mean, you think how far we went since me and your kids.
Yeah.
Cell phone. We've seen so much stuff come to life that you would have never, if you would have told somebody.
The first mobile phone I seen weighed exactly 60 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to have 2 batteries in your vehicle.
Yeah, you had to have one of them
and
good.
it cost $9 a minute to call somebody.
Oh, yeah, you had to have one of those good military belts to hold the damn thing on. You know what I mean?
No, I'm talking about a bag phone. You couldn't even get it out of the truck. They mounted it in the console.
So we went from a generation that used to just tell their kid, hey, run down to the neighbor's and see if she's got 2 eggs.
Yeah. Save me a trip to Coleman.
Right. Where the cell phones, it's like I just don't think kids are getting enough of.
Oh yeah, can I borrow a couple of eggs? We'll still do it. We're gonna do it right here.
Are kids getting really good like skills on trading or? You know what I'm saying? It's like my mama said, we'll get eggs tomorrow. We'll get y'all some. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
we'll give it back.
We're getting. You remember Paul Harvey? If I Were the Devil.
Yes.
Okay. I really do. I really think if people really listened to that and really thought to themselves, it's coming to life.
Yeah, but there's also people. I mean, we both got one laying here.
We do. I'm dependent on it.
I'm dependent on it a lot, but I'll tell you, here's what people say is, this is the devil. This is what causes divorces. This is what causes this. This is what causes that. This is what, it's easier to get drugs. It's easier to do this. It's easier to whatever, cheat. Okay, well, I'm going to give the world a heads up on something. If you're going to do that, this is nothing but a tool. I mean, why didn't they blame the car? They had to have it to get there.
Correct. That is very
They didn't say, well, God, them damn cars, boy, they're the epitome of the world. That's the devil. Really? It ain't the devil when you got a heart attack and somebody's taking you to the hospital.
Yeah. I get exactly what you're saying, dude.
And this is also not, this ain't the devil if me and you, one of us falls over right now. I mean, I'm calling 911.
Yeah, and it's quick. I mean, it's there.
And by the way, my location's on. Y'all just come where this phone's sitting. I'll be within 30 foot of it, toting him. If I'll meet y'all on.
You could be about to go crazy or something, and I could hit my power button 5 times real fast and just set it underneath the table, and I just thought something eerie was going. They'll be here.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I don't know. And I think that's why trust was more back in those times. I mean, think about the trust. Real and truly the trust. Because, like, I feel like back in those times, man, you would say, hey, Jacob, you know, whatever, would you mind if I brought so-and-so over, you know, or whatever, all this kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, sure, you can bring her over. You know, it might be your daughter. You know what I mean? You didn't have to worry about me taking naked pictures of her or, you know what I'm saying, trying to catch a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, dude. I hate it because I'm a part of it and I'm used to it. And, you know, like today, like what we was talking about with the GPSs with the phone.
Yeah.
Elmer knew the roads.
Yeah, he didn't need that stupid. He still got.
They used to get out and ride around.
That's how they kill their time instead of staring at this.
Right. 2 roads from me up on the left.
Yeah.
Okay. A total of a 3-mile drive.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have a GPS to even see what road number it was.
Yes.
And I drive by the damn thing every day.
Yeah.
But I'm on my truck talking to my wife, or I'm talking to
Whoever.
somebody
Whoever
on the
you're
phone.
at.
Right.
I know.
I'm not looking at that phone by hand. I'm looking down the highway. People don't go loafing anymore.
No, they
Don't
don't
go
just hang
loafing.
out. They don't. No. And it took when you was talking about trust, I'll tell you something else it done too. You could text me and say, hey, I need my yard landscape. Okay, I'll come over and look at it. Well, you probably got cameras up. I don't know. But if I see one, I'm going to walk up with my driver's license. And I'm going to look at it and say, this is Richard Roberson, Jacob. I text you earlier and said I'd be here about lunch. But there's all my information.
Yeah,
Already got my
yeah,
number.
yeah.
And I'm going to text you a figure. It takes the handshake and everything out of business.
I ain't thought about that either, but it does. I mean, it's not
But
like.
if I look at you in the face and I tell you I'll do this job for this amount, and we shake hands, you feel a little bit better. I mean, what I'm saying is I'm a lot more confident in the guy that I'm looking at than some space cadet on this phone right here. Because
Talking
I
on
don't.
the phone, yeah.
You don't know if they'll pay you. You don't know anything.
You don't know if they're going to show up.
No.
I mean,
You don't know nothing.
I hadn't really thought about that, dude.
But I mean, like security cameras, you know, people freak out about that and say, my God, that cat over there's got 9 cameras around his house. I love it. If I pull up and his dog bites me, I got proof that his dog bit me. Or if I walk up there and I see a ring or whatever they call them, doorknob things, you know, I just stick my ID up there. And that way they know exactly. They got my address, what I look like, and also my business card. You know, if I still landscaping, I just,
Yeah,
you
so
know, that's who I am.
right.
And I'm here. So if something come up going at lunch Tuesday, you know, I was there Thursday. I didn't see it when I was there on Thursday.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
You have to really cover your own ass everywhere you go.
But I'm still the same guy that don't lock nothing.
See, my truck, man, I never lock. Like, unless I'm like at Walmart and I have to park in the back.
I know.
I hate carrying keys in my pocket, which I got one of the fobs now.
There you go. You can crank it sitting right here.
Yeah, useless as shit.
Yes.
Because I'll get my wife's vehicle, sit down, press the button, and it'll say,
No fob detected.
key left in vehicle. And guess what? I got to find that damn thing.
Why? It ain't close enough to the button?
No, it's got to be moved.
Oh, they done got that tech savvy.
Mm-hmm. Swear to God. Like, we can go down there. Well, she drove home just a little bit ago. I don't know how long it takes a time out. Yeah. Tomorrow morning, I crank the vehicles in the morning when it's cold. So tomorrow morning I'll go out there and I'll press the start button, I'll video, and I'll send it to you. It will say no fob detected. I can grab her purse, shift it an inch, and it'll crank.
I'll just stick with my old job.
No shit.
I mean, that's stupid.
It is. It is.
But there again, I remember when OnStar was a big deal. Like Trey asked me what that darn button was on my mirror. What is that? I thought, well, 20 years ago there was 17 advertisements during the Super Bowl about it, because if you didn't buy a car with that, you didn't have nothing.
Hell, if you
I mean,
nowadays, if you had a wreck, your phone would probably detect that. Damn, they was just going 60 and stopped.
Yeah, there's something on your phone that will tell you, they can pull that up. I was in a wreck. This past June would have been a year. No, it was last June. Of all things, hit by a drunk driver in that truck I'm driving, going down 35, and the guy asked me, the state trooper said, "How fast was you going?" I said, 50 tops. I mean, it was raining. I wasn't in a hurry. I was on time. Blah blah blah. He goes, "Okay, what's your cell phone number?" And I told him. The state of Alabama can pull that up. I mean, it's on the police report. I think I was running 47. Like, he didn't write down 50.
Oh, so that's able to tell.
Yeah. Like, if you tell them your cell phone number, I mean, I guess if you got a smartphone, they know that this is the government.
Well, see, you can. Okay, talking about that, what was the? Golly, I went right off. Talking about going from that to like 47. Shit, it'll come back in a minute. I gotta start jotting stuff down.
But I mean, it's just like Trey done the same thing. He was fishing, a 3 months ago, and the graph showed they was running 66.2. Well, his GPS said they was running 66.7. I said, well, 0.3 miles an hour, son. Oh, you can't catch running that fast anyway.
GPS is a lot. I think it's like the most precise thing, even over the speedometer.
I'll tell you something that's the most precise over even like your Apple Maps or your Google Maps and all that. Buddy of mine's got an app on his phone, and it's free. You download it for deer hunting. I don't forget what it's called, OWN maybe or something.
Is that where it shows all the like landlines and all
landowners? But I'll
Yeah.
tell you how precise the GPS is. You can find stabs in the ground, like your property lines. With that, it will be within 1 foot of where that red dot is.
So you can stand around and just kind of kick around in a circle and be able to find it.
Yeah, we did it. Like, and it bugged my mind. I said, "There's no way that," because your GPS may show me sitting out there in your driveway. I mean, you don't. But yeah, that thing's like spot on, like 12 inches.
I'm a crime junkie. I seen one time. Long story short, there's two boys. Young boys, man, and they like the same girl. One of them killed the other one, buried him out like in a landfill somewhere, and they were able to tell that he had his flashlight on that phone from like 2:11 a.m. to like 2:56 a.m. in that location.
It logs that much data.
Mm-hmm. To even where they can tell you turned your flashlight on. And I know what I forgot. If you're in a vehicle accident and they think somebody may be killed, your phone goes in a static bag right off the bat. No service. Nobody can delete anything. Nobody can log into your Facebook, Instagram. They can't log into your phone. They can't log into your Apple ID. They cannot log into anything. Your phone is froze. Every app you have, everything is froze.
Is that where they say if you was texting and driving or
texting, driving? Maybe you change from maybe you
music
got music app. Maybe you touch that phone. He's like, hey, I'm gonna skip Def Leppard right now. I'm gonna go to hell, I'm wanting to hear some Chris Stapleton.
But it's gonna tell you if you picked your phone up probably and your map changed. Because what a lot of you may go down the road and pick up your phone and it says you're going to turn in 600 yards. And you're thinking, hell, there ain't a road in 600 yards. Well, they put one in, I missed it. And you look at it and you just lay it right back on your leg or on the you know what I mean?
Yeah, you wreck, you kill somebody.
Then your phone's history. And
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
There's no doubt about it.
That's correct. I mean, that don't even. But there again, it's the devil. But that right there
helps.
It's evidence.
Oh yeah, and Good evidence.
But like when I use Snapchat, my location's on.
Mine
That
is
way-
too.
that
People
way you
know
can
I'm
see
here right
where-
now.
I mean, that way you can see where I'm at. I'm not going nowhere that I care that anybody knows I'm at.
Me either. These things, though, dude, we could talk about.
But I do know they listen to you, and I have heard that Mark Zuckerberg or whatever Mr. Facebook's name is, he covers up the mics and the camera on his phone, his iPhone. Because, and if you'll notice, if me and you'll talk about deer hunting, the
Yeah.
next time we scroll Facebook, it'll be some
We
deer.
will see that. That's what I was supposed to say.
It's a fact.
It is.
That ain't by coincidence.
It's these paid advertisements from like clothing companies and
Or-
this and
and scopes and rifles and whatever.
oh yeah, we can Hornady bullets.
Yeah.
That'll probably show up on my
It
news
will.
feed.
Now that you
Yeah.
said it and understood you.
30-06 Hornadies.
At least I'm redneck enough that half the time Siri don't know what I'm saying. You have to tell her.
That's right.
I mean, I've literally had her to say before.
Can you imagine if you had a daughter named Alexa?
It's game over. Game over.
Hey Alexa, go to your room. I'm not able to go to my room. You know, it's
I'm
like,
plugged in the wall.
that's right. Because you can ask her like, "Hey, will you marry me?" You know, all that kind of
yeah.
stuff. I see stuff online though, and I've tried it on all of mine, and you can actually say, I got one in here. She's probably gonna say something, but I can actually say, Alexa, Simon says.
Wi-Fi connection. Please reestablish.
I never hooked her back up while I'm up here talking.
It's a real good idea.
Yeah.
Don't
But-
have a guest that says that her name's Alexa. You'll be in bad trouble.
Yeah. Well, I just take it out. I shoot that thing with my shotgun.
Removed.
Oh yeah. But you know, I mean, really, if let's say, okay, we're part of let's just say we're in a gang or we're in a terrorist group.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just say me and you, by God, we're making bombs in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's actually pretty useful if the FBI really thinks me and you are up
You're
to no
flagged.
good. Right.
They're fixing to drill that, the whole internet.
Oh, and I would be all for that. Like if I was the guy sitting there and said, "Hey, you know what? By God, let's go ahead and just catch all of Richard's calls," and they're going to come to me and they're going to be like, "Dude, it's awesome. He's got an Echo Dot Alexa in his bathroom. There's one in his foyer."
Yes.
Well, hell yeah, I'd want to listen to it, wouldn't you?
Boy, yeah.
Especially if you're not up to no good. I don't ever even bother you again. I find out maybe, by God, you're making a fishing lure out of them damn chemicals or
Or
something.
whatever
You know
you want to do with it. Yeah.
Right, yeah. You know, so
So it takes I just got off that FBI watch list. Now y'all got time to focus on somebody that's got a rag on top of
that's
their head.
right, yeah. That way you don't.
There's never been a 40-year-old white guy that blowed up anything. It's never happened. They got a rag on their head, or they're from over yonder somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, and until something changes, man, it's going to be that way.
It's
I got
hard.
a friend that worked on the border wall.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And when Biden got office, leave the tools, leave everything, leave supplies, don't make a shit, let the cartel have it.
We're
done.
It was really that
It
simple.
Oh, yeah.
He goes in office. They swear him in. We're out of here.
We're done. Yeah, you're done. Your job's over.
How much sense does that? I mean, I don't. It's kind of like the pipeline deal. It's the same old crap. I mean,
We have enough oil that we could last like 400 years just off of Alaska.
no. On top of that, I want to think that I heard Trump say that's a 50-50 shot because they all
Yeah.
say stuff. But I never forgot how much we've got in the ground in the United States. Not that a well can get up. I'm talking about stored in tanks, scattered across the United States. I think there's 40 years worth stored. Here we are buying it from them damn ragheads. There's some math there that's not mathing.
No, it would be the same thing as like if I was like, okay, Richard, I know you can grow tomatoes, okay,
Yeah.
but I will give you all these tomatoes for this. We'll make this together. You don't even have to worry about growing.
No.
Because we've got to have them.
Regardless.
Right.
Yes.
So if gas went to $9 a gallon tomorrow, me and you still go to work.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they know. I mean, it'd almost be like, hey, I'm going to turn the fucking sun off. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
you're at their mercy.
But see,
You know,
I didn't
that's
realize
what
that
sucks.
because, you know, all that stuff stays hid from us, I'll say common people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people up there in D.C. and at the Pentagon and all that, they know a lot of the stuff that we don't know.
Right.
And, you know, if we knew it all, we'd probably really be, we'd probably all be on Xanax.
I heard from somebody one time that you would never sleep again.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
And I heard that from a military guy that was, you know, he's 10 years Marine, whatever. But I don't understand when they're on OPEC and all that stuff. You've heard all those names. You don't hear it much no more. But okay, well, all of a sudden, Saudi Arabia and Iraq say, you know, oil's $125 a barrel. Okay, well, we don't need another drop. And we usually we got here until they get their head right over there, and it's $25 a drum again.
You're right. So if I'm like, hey, man, I ain't going to make you them damn tomatoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't want you tell me I don't want your tomatoes no more.
Right.
Hell, I've already got, I can get tomatoes like crazy over here for a lot cheaper.
Yes.
Then I got to drop my damn price. And we
Yeah.
can store all that and give back what we've already took from ourselves.
Yes.
It probably wouldn't take 3 days.
That's about how long it would take.
Mm-hmm. If you just said, okay, hey, look, we got enough for, I think there's, dude, I'm fact checkers, check whatever, but it's a lot of years that's in Alaska. There's a lot of years
It's a
of oil,
bunch,
a
yes.
lot. All you would have to do is tap into those things, say a week. You got to think, if I was paying you out the ass for something that you're getting out of the ground ain't costing you a penny.
No, it's been there for a million years.
Right. And then I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think I've got it covered.
yeah.
I mean,
I've been,
yeah.
I mean, really and truly, yeah, we do.
It's
We're
no different than being at the door shop and they call one day and say, hey, by the way, we're not sending y'all no more doors. And the next company calls and says the same thing. Guess what? If nobody's making no doors, you can get whatever you want for them. Somebody's going to build a house because I ain't never seen one they didn't put a door on.
oh yeah, no, me either.
I mean, it's just that I don't.
Yeah, it's you got to have.
It's the federal
Yeah,
government. I
yeah,
mean,
it is.
it is. And you know, it's a good thing I don't spend a lot of time on that because I don't listen to a lot of talk radio and none of that stuff. Even when I'm riding down the road or if I'm operating a piece of machinery or if I'm just sitting around the house with an earbud in. You know, if you listen to much of that, you will be confused and crazy in 2 days. And you know, like women's the world's worst. And I'm not saying nothing negative about a woman, but that's just how their chemistry is different than ours.
Yeah.
If they hear on the radio or they come, James Spann says that, hey, watermelons ain't doing good this year. You know, the next word out of their mouth is, I don't guess we'll have watermelon July 4th.
I know. It's like, try to grow your own.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Well, we can plant some, or, you know what, I believe I'll be fine July 4th without a watermelon.
That's right, yeah.
Like, I'm done with that They talk about it for a day or two.
Really?
Like, I'm not. Yeah, it don't faze me. Like, you know, the little stuff don't, which I've been places people ain't been, and I've been in some situations I just had to wing it. But I don't need a watermelon to survive. You know, when everybody ran out of toilet paper, you know, when COVID, whoop-de-doo.
I get in the shower and I got one of them sprayers.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll spray it off.
Yeah.
Brush
then
it off. I mean, I can name.
I'll take a rag after that, wash my ass, and
Yeah, we're good. I mean, I don't, everybody, oh, we're just going to go buy a rolling fine. Well, okay, now then you've got 6 years worth of toilet paper and your kids ain't got a bedroom to sleep in because it's full of toilet paper. So congratulations.
I do feel like we're like major panickers. I really do. I found that out with the tornadoes, 2011.
But see, I didn't
We're-
panic.
Well, I think like the whole
It's a shock.
the major population of wherever's affected, I really do think like panics. You know, you're not gonna have running water. You don't know when you're gonna get electricity again. You don't know. You can't call anybody on the cell phone. You don't have no landlines.
But I got a question. I'm pretty sure when that happened, you was living right over behind the business over here.
Not when that happened.
Oh, usually it's the farm.
Mm-hmm. It got blowed down, yeah.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but you had probably 7 days of some of the most peaceful life you ever had if you look back on it.
It really was. It was a different kind of feeling.
What I'm saying is when it got dark, it was dark. You could hear somebody hooting hollering over at Brown's store.
Heard the crickets.
I mean, there was no light nowhere. I mean, you built a fire. If you had a deep freeze, you cooked what thawed out. It wasn't like, well, I ain't eating ribeyes tonight, and I ain't eating that darn veg casserole. Yeah, I guess you'll eat whatever thaws out, like whatever's here. I mean, because, hey, guess what? Donald and them ain't got no power either. So all their crap's junk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just remember sitting at Mother's, and I had that house at Duck River, and I just remember us sitting outside and had the grill going. I mean, with charcoal, or put wood in it. And we just
you
cooked
build a
whatever
fire
thawed
out of
out.
sticks.
Yeah.
Just you can grill.
And I
it.
thought, man, this is so simple. I mean, by the time you got to where you could, cut some limbs out of your driveway, I mean, the mess is here. Most people, when they have a car wreck, they freak out if they're not hurt. If they're hurt, a different ballgame. But just like when I hit the drunk, I was on the phone with Tracy. This guy passes me, we're on a 4-lane. And this right here is just how I function in life now. I didn't used to be like that. I used to be a guy that reacted. Now I respond. I learned this through everything I've been through, but I'm riding down the road talking to Tracy, I'm about to be at work, hope you have a good day, love you, honey, we'll get engaged this weekend, we got baseball tonight, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I said, well, look at this goofball. I'm in the right-hand lane. He comes flying up behind an SUV, comes over in front of me, it's raining, and he just wants to cut this person off because they're in the slow lane. They're in the fast lane going
And they're going to slow.
He nicks him, he hits a guardrail and comes back across, and of course I drilled him. Because I've slowed down, but I'm still running 47 miles an hour through this phone.
Well, so a lot of times if you slam on the brakes in the rain too, I feel like you get going faster.
Yeah, and I didn't freak out.
Right, yeah.
And I'm still on the phone with her, it's on Bluetooth, And I said, well, I just hit this guy. I said, I'll have to call you back. I said, let me get this truck, parked on the side of the road. And there was 2 or 3 people stopped. Now, this guy's car is junk. I got some pictures of it, but I figured out, I left my truck running, it's a diesel. And I said, well, I'll go down there and pull my truck back up here in the median so that way I'm not blocking traffic. Because he was over here wadded up in the guardrail. I'm on the right hand side of the road. And I drove back up there. Well, that night I got home and I guess I got a rental car. I don't know. But me and Tracy was talking and she goes, do you realize you never missed a beat in that conversation? And you've not mentioned your truck today. I said, it's just a truck. I mean, I don't.
Material things, yeah.
It's just a truck. In the big scheme of things, and what can I do to fix it? Get out and whoop the guy because he's drunk and wreck me? That's not going to fix
the damage
truck.
has already been done.
Yeah, and that's why they call him an accident. You've never saw a police report where he said he just ran the hell over him because he wanted to. They're all accidents. It's an accident report. That means that something happened that wasn't predicted.
Oh, yeah.
But, like I said, when the tornadoes hit, I was down there in Hansville, and it blowed that Grand Prix off the road. That's one time that I panicked for about 30 seconds, and I was in shock for about 5 minutes. I don't know if I've ever told you that story.
Well, we're never, we have tornadoes around us all the time. Like in the spring, like this time of year.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're coming.
But the one that touches down, like Span says, on your street,
yeah,
you don't forget it.
No, it's a real deal.
That's right. Yeah, it's real.
But I was going through Hansville. This is a good story. Boy, this right here, you fix to get a kick. So it's dark, and of course I had a cell phone. I think I had one of them Vizio, not a Vizio. What they
Vizio's TVs.
a Casio. Them indestructible flip phones. You know what I'm talking about.
I've seen people walk around with TVs or like a phone like this big though, and I'm like, damn.
Well, this was one of them. And it was cool.
55-inch.
It was orange, and it was indestructible military. Blah blah blah.
I had the same thing. I had the same one.
Okay.
It's like waterproof, everything.
Oh.
Had a little bumper on the bottom of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Aggravated charge, won't fit in the cradle, etc. So
Yeah.
I'm backing out of the driveway. Brandon Trey's asleep. We just had Trey. He was born in 2010. And I leave the driveway and I turn, headed toward 91. I get on 91, my phone rings, and I thought, it's coming to flood. Never forget this. It's my grandmother. Hey, son, are you hunkered down? I said, no. I said, I'm on the road. And she goes, son, the weather's going to get bad. Like, what are you doing? I said, well, when you can tell James Spann how to pay my mortgage, it's hard to pay it at home because I'm a straight commission sales rep.
Right, yeah.
I said, I got a mortgage, so I'm going to work. I said, I feel like if I make it to 65, then I'm good because the storms are kind of coming north.
Right.
That's before they hit Tuscaloosa and all. So I get behind a car, never forget it. They got a New York tag. I'm going down 91. You'll know what I'm talking about, but when you cross the new bridge, we're on the straightaway, going out there, going to the train trestle where you always got a cop sitting. It is coming a monsoon. So we get to the red light right there at Exxon. This car from New York turns left. I thought, well, they're lost. I mean, they're a long way from home. Probably a rental car, but I don't know. I go straight. You know where Catfish World used to be?
Yes.
The restaurant.
Yeah.
That's been gone before then.
Oh, yeah.
I go around the curve, and you know where Mud Creek, the bridge, is as wide as this room. The first little bridge.
Oh, I know
There's a
exactly what
swamp
you're
through there. I make it to it, and I run into a white wall. Like I cannot see nothing. And it's got daylight. I mean, a little bit of daylight.
That makes it worse, I thought.
Oh, and I put my foot on the brake, and about that time, the wind, I was on that Pontiac Grand Prix, the wind is blowing so hard that you're nearly deaf. And everything's white. Like I couldn't see if it had been blowing a Peterbilt into me. And I had both feet on the brake pedal and pushing it hard as I could. I don't know why, because I wasn't going anywhere. You know, in my mind, you know, it's not, if you get the brakes, it's not going to keep you from going or flying or anything else.
Right,
It's
yeah.
you going forward or backwards. This last, it seemed like 2 minutes, probably 15 seconds in reality. I mean, I don't know how long it took for it just to come through there and go.
Yeah.
And I look up and I'm across the road and I'm across the oncoming traffic, and the shoulders they put is nearly as wide as a car, but the grass is built up this high where the state has come through there and just bush hog and never
Right.
cut it down. That's what stopped my car from blowing me off the side of the road off in that muck. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I survived that, I'm good. I just put it right back down. I don't even think I took it out of drive. I just pulled back up on the road. And I'm going down 91 like nothing's happened. I'm in shock. I get down to the Pitts old store, the canopy and all's gone. The old building's gone. I thought, well, I got that canopy. I'm still brain dead. I talk around here, I'm going to fall off, and there is about 6 gut trucks and about 300 pine trees. And the gut trucks are turned over and the pine trees are across 91. And it dawned on me that Coleman County's been wiped out. Like, I've got to get home. Oh, I turn around. Well, guess what? That's when it got Wallace State and all that. Huntsville shut down. Like, it wiped it all out behind me. You know, looking back now, it's God's grace I was where I was at. A tree couldn't fall on me or nothing. I was just exposed to the elements of the wind. And
Right. Yeah.
Turn around and get back to Huntsville. I can't get through Huntsville. And I've got no gas in my car.
And this is all within
7 or 8
minutes?
minutes,
Yeah.
less than 10.
Yeah.
I said, I have no gas. My gas light's on. I said, well, I don't know what to do. So I take every back road I can. I get over to Brandon Brown's race car shop, which is 2 miles from Huntsville. It took me 30 minutes to get there. I thought I was going to push my car. You know, like I'm out. I get over there. There's no generator gas. I put 10 gallon of racing gas in it because he had racing gas in the race car shop. I got it out of his box trailer. All the docks buildings are gone, but the tater shed that's the race car stand, old tater shed that we made up, had a lift and all in it,
Yeah.
it was still there. You know, I had a key to it. I just unlocked it, walked in there, turned the lights on like they was going to come on. You know, I still ain't. I got them jug. I said, well, I'll just put racing gas in it. I've got to get, to Miranda. No phone works. I said, I better get to Betty and Danny's. So I get to my ex-mother-in-law and father-in-law's that I thought the world of. Amanda's there, which is my ex-sister-in-law. They're in the storm pit. I finally get my phone to work, and it's Amanda telling me that we're stuck in the storm pit. I pull up at their house, and there's ladders sticking out of their roof. The back shed's gone. The house beside them's gone. And I said, my God, I got to get them out of the storm pit. Well, I go back there, and their storm pit's got about 3 trees laid over.
Oh, God.
Oh, and they're on the phone with Miranda, which is good. Her and Trey's safe. They got in the storm pit because I had a storm pit at that house. I cut them out, thought with a saw, and get them out of there. You know, that's the first they've seen of anything. I mean, they look like they're on the moon because there's nothing nowhere. Finally make it home, get all the trees cut out of the driveway, make it to Grandma's. There's 1 tree down at her house. By all this time, I'm still on racing gas, by the way. My car's acting up, because the octane's twice what it ought to be.
It's burning hot, ain't it?
Yes. Well, I make it to my mother's. My sisters made it there. They've got no damage besides it shifted their big shop like 3 foot. Just cutty cornered it. It didn't blow nothing away. That ruined all the trailers and all the trees fell on them. We watched the next tornado come through. The one that got Fairview.
Yeah.
It was early in the middle. It was 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning when it come through. Then the one that got Coleman was at 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it was. I seen that thing from about 17 miles, probably 20 miles.
My sister videoed it. The one that went through Coleman.
Yeah.
Because my mother, you know where mother's house is, up on that knob.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can see it, forever.
I got some
North.
good photos of it from right here at Terry and them's.
Yes, same difference because you're kind of a little bit higher and everything else. And I mean, it just goes right on by. And like, you don't think nothing about it. Go to Coleman and it's gone.
There was
But like I said, I didn't panic during none of that. I did to start with till the shot wore off, and I guess it took 3 minutes. And then you go into, hey, I need to make sure that, Doc's okay, Brandon's okay, the kids are okay. You go through the list of people that I need to go, which you didn't cross
because you
my
can't
mind.
call. You can't call either.
No,
you know?
like I could get a
It's,
phone call to go through just a little bit every once.
Yeah,
Nowadays, you wouldn't get nothing.
No, and we figured out, dude, as weird as this is, you could call somebody that was out of state, and we figured this out pretty early in the deal. You could actually call somebody. I could call somebody that was in Georgia, and tell them to call my daddy and say, "Hey, come back to the farm."
Yeah, or whatever.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jacob's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They got your boat.
Mm-hmm.
It was in that barn.
Yeah,
right
that
there.
Ranger. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Ranger boat.
Right.
That was a weird deal, dude. But we did because we had somebody that was family was calling, and you were able to just accept their call. I mean, it was like this clear. Everything was plain as day. I don't know if you pull off their tower. I don't know how that works. But you could actually call somebody from out of state, and they could call
Back.
whoever you was wanting to talk to.
Yeah, it's goofy. That don't even make sense.
It's weird, but yeah.
But you saw a lot of people freak out. And like I said, I understood. I that's the first time I guess I ever been in shock. I mean, I saw 3 kids born with C-sections, and I mean, I stood up and watched it. The doctor said, "We never had nobody didn't pass out." I said, "I want to see what the heck y'all doing over there." I mean, that didn't. But like I said, the first 5 minutes of that, I mean, I was going to the interstate. So I mean, I couldn't get there, and then I went into survival mode.
A blink of an eye, almost.
Yeah,
I mean, like
20 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope we don't ever see that again, dude.
I mean, we will. Just hopefully not right here.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's weird too. Like the tracks, like they take. I feel like around Auburn and all that now gets hit a lot.
yes.
You ever notice that? Like Lee County's been hit
A
last
few
2
times.
years. I think. Yeah, bad.
When I hunted down there with Darrell Swim and them at Hurtsboro, part of that land that we leased 3,500 acres that was in between Enon Plantation and Bickerstaff. They had one had 10 or 12, another had 10 or 13. But we hunted right in the middle of where the airport is at Hurtsboro, and it's got hit twice, like through there,
Right.
like
Yeah.
around Union Springs, right north of Union, in between Tuskegee and Union Springs, and Auburn, like.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Tri-County, you're out in the middle of nowhere. Like you buy groceries 30 minutes before you get there because there's not a dollar bill there. Yeah, I mean, there ain't deer hunting's all that's there.
I hope. Yeah.
I don't ever want to go through that again.
I don't either. It was just weird. It was weird times, man. Like it was just like you could almost like, especially like around like Gunnersville Lake, where it crossed the lake, you could almost see like exactly like the path it took.
Yeah, like it cut.
It did. I mean, it was just like a timbering crew come through there and had some kind of something just to plow a damn trail through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, already got all reds, all their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which it made one good fine fishing hole right up there that Cody Pitt showed me one time. That paid off a time or two.
Talking about fishing, man, you did a lot of fishing.
We had a lot of fun.
Yes, we did. We were
Caught a
probably
lot
some of
of
the
fish.
happiest people on the lake.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Nobody had no more fun than we did.
We used to make fun of people that had like 96 rods on the front deck. You remember that?
Yes.
Anytime me and Richard would get close to like a boathouse,
If there was a female.
if there was a female
500
around,
yards. Get your rods out.
I
Get your
would
rods
jump
out.
down, grab every rod I had in my boat, and put them on the top deck. And me and you just laughing about it.
Yes.
It didn't matter if it was the ugliest girl you ever seen in your life on the dock.
But like at the Causeway, I've yet to figure out why people want to blow the horn. There's 47 boats out here. Who you blow? You just blowing the horn because there's somebody in a boat? Are you shocked that it's floating? What are you blowing the horn
People
for?
do that at golf courses too. Holes.
Yes.
By the road.
Yes.
Yeah. That really screws me up bad.
Man, Horace Jr. and them was out there at Terry Vines one time, and I was doing a
It
landscape
don't mess
job.
me up. Shit, I'm gonna hit a
I
bad
ain't
shot
worth shit
anyway.
anyway. It don't make no difference. Yeah, when I go golfing, the biggest thing I gotta have is I'm not worried about the nice clubs. I need to make sure that I found somebody on Marketplace that goes and picks up golf balls. Because there's no way you could afford to buy Pro V1s and may go one time to Fairview. There's 6 trees there, and I would lose 2 boxes of balls.
I'm not gonna say never, because I probably had a Pro V1 at some point. But I've never wanted to try a good golf ball, like a really good one,
It's gone.
because I don't want to play really good one day
And think I gotta have
and
it.
think it's the golf ball. And then the next time I go, I lose 9. And the next time I go, I lose 154 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like on the phone
That's
with the
$6 a
bank.
call.
I'm at the, yeah. Hey, look, I promise I'll come sign this loan Monday. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Can y'all float the money down and get there? I'm gonna hold on.
That's one reason why I don't want to, like, even with fishing, fishing really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had some reels that was a couple of $100, but I didn't have these $1,000 per combo deals. I was not sewn on that. I just wasn't, and I didn't want to. I don't know. I like kind of the old school, the lose and the,
But I mean, them fish don't know.
They don't.
Now that new one they come out with, Trace had a heart attack over that makes a racket when you throw it. If one of them's making a racket when I throw it, I think it's tore up. When
There's a real ounce kind of racket.
It's a Corrado DC something.
I remember whenever
It goes zzz when you throw it. I mean, it just blows everybody's skirt up. And I'm thinking, if one of mine did that, I'd throw it down and pick up another if I got it back in.
I'd be like, hey, bud,
Hey, man, this thing needs some oil or something.
pass me the WD-40 back there, brother.
Yeah.
Pass
You
me
got
that
real
real
magic. I always try to squirt something in it. This thing's done went haywire. But we didn't. I remember the first tournament me and you fished, we won it.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly don't know that I had over 4 rod and reels to my name. The first time me and you ever went fishing, I broke that rod of Judd's. Remember me stepping on it, breaking it? I had to replace it. He had a heart attack over that, and I thought it's just a stupid rod. But it was a $100 rod back then, big deal.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's freaking
Quantum,
PT Energy or something, probably.
something stupid.
Something, yeah.
Mary Carter, somebody sold him, and it would, I've had some pros in here buying these. Well, it'll catch him. No, it probably won't.
No. I seen some people with dude. One time I got beat in a big fish tournament at Wheeler. And I was running around my old fancy boat and all this kind of stuff. I kid you not, Willie Nelson and down Flat Bottom won that damn tournament.
Yes, sir.
And you know where he went? 50 yards from the ramp.
Yes.
Instead of running around all day, he's like, hell, I mean, here's the lake. Shit, I got just as good a chance as anybody does. He won it. Yeah.
Well, I think you probably know this story, but the first time I took that Bumblebee that I bought from Keith Garner for like $2,000, had a 115 Yamaha. Of course, I thought I was Kevin Van Dam.
Oh, yeah.
And I had 3 rod and reels, and I had enough fishing tackle to fill up probably the cooler.
There's people nowadays that spend more on a graph than some of the boats you started out with.
Yes, and the darn motor wouldn't crank. Me and Judd trolled to the other side of the lake, straight across from the park, and caught 2 fish, and we got like 3rd place in big fish.
Yeah.
And we caught the big fish we caught. I just told you a fib. The big fish we caught, we was out there on a trolling motor, and him waiting on me to park the truck because it's a park, if it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was like a Hayden Church of Christ tournament or something. First one I could get in because, like I said,
Oh, yeah, you had the fever.
Yeah, it don't matter. And he picked me up, and of course they had blast off. When they got to ours, I couldn't blast off because my motor wouldn't crank. And I said, start fishing. And Judd caught it about the 3rd cast right there, just before you get to the grass at the park. It was stupid. Then we went across the lake with the thing idling and spitting and sputtering, and we caught 1 or 2 more. Like I said, we finished like 3rd in the tournament and got big fish money. And of course, we thought we had to go call somebody.
Yeah, run around.
We're fishing to get a boat wrapped because, we ain't. Big deal.
Everybody's a pro nowadays, I feel like. Everybody's a pro.
But we had, it was fun. The competition part was fun, even in the McDonald's deal and all that stuff. But when me and you went up there to fish, if we was pre-fishing for a big tournament or a BFL, or if we was going up there to fish one of them lazy mans or whatever, We was gonna have a good time.
Oh, we had fun no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't think of a time we didn't. I mean, your brand new motor tore up after we got it broke in. And we had a good time laughing, just begging them trolling motor batteries to get us back to the ramp. But I bet we was laughing the whole
We
time.
had the wind with us. He was like, how fast this thing going? I was like 5.4 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we thought we was flying low.
That was like on a Thursday or something. The tournament was Saturday because I had to borrow a boat.
Yes.
I had to borrow a boat when that happened. That was the fuel rails, man. They had a bunch of Trebos Mercury
That was
fuel rails.
Yes, whatever.
Yeah.
Some kind of gasket in between something and something. Yeah, as soon as you called them, I was like, oh, yeah, we know what it is. Well, why in the crap ain't y'all fixed it? Well, y'all could have given me a piece of paper telling me, hey, this could happen. But no, we couldn't.
Somehow, whenever they machined that motor, or they machined those fuel rails, there was some kind of a air's on one side, fuel's on the other. But it's built into one because it's like a EFI or
But there's
whatever.
a gasket or something in it.
Right, where it's supposed to, when the fuel like leaks down, the air, when the fuel comes in, the air is supposed to push it and go through the
Catch it.
valve. Yeah,
Yes.
and that flap closes or whatever, that gasket.
And it won't even idle.
Because it floods it.
Yeah, it's
the whole
done.
Yeah, but the
It's
whole time
done.
you're cranking it, you're smoking like, Cheech and Chong.
Yes.
You're done.
Hilarious.
We, me and you though, talking about the McDonald's tournaments, we about cashed a check every year in that.
I don't know of a time we didn't.
I don't either. That's what I was just trying to think of because when we were out there that one time, the big storm blew through. This big storm blew through. And me and you basically, I was just like, let's go over here, just hide from the wind. That's all I was going to do. You remember I caught 2 4-pounders on the same cast.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes. I know where we were at.
Yeah, and it was an 8-pounder. It was 8 pounds and 2 fish.
Yes.
And then it might have been the next cast.
Or the next one.
It was an 8-pounder.
Ooh,
Yeah.
net. We already had it out anyway.
Yeah, we did. And you fired off from the back and caught that 6-pounder.
Just right there, because the boat was moving while
Yeah,
you was putting that
yeah.
in the live well. Yeah.
And you were like, hey, get that. Yeah, that was.
And man, that storm blowed up. I will never. We had them 100-mile-an-hour suits on. You may not remember this part, or you might, but you knew the north side of the lake, like where the Mrs. Sandbar, like that man Scotty Estes got hung up on one time. That's a funny story.
Oh, yeah.
In a brand new $100,000 Ranger, and we're beached. But we was going down through there, and man, we started hitting them waves. And I remember you just stick your head down, and you said, "There's nothing I can do because I'm going to jump one and I'm sticking one." And I looked down one time and I said, "Lord, please, and Bill's pumps don't need to give up." There was this much water.
There's
over
about
my
4
face.
inches in there, probably. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you never checked up?
We were trying to get to the double hour. That was the double. We were trying
Yes.
to get there. That's a story. That is a funny story. The whole damn thing's funny.
Every bit of it.
We get up there, which we had rain suits.
Yeah.
But
The
the damn boat's 4 inches deep in water, and you cannot park at the dock.
No,
Do you
the
remember
wind's blowing so hard it's just no away with the dog.
it sunk? That one boat. I
Right
got you.
beside us.
Yeah, I got you close enough when we was fixing to tie off, and I said, tie the front off, run and jump in that boat, and turn every button he's got on the front of his boat. You remember that?
And I did. And man, the waves was hitting so hard I thought it was going to tear your trolling motor off. And I got over in his boat, and the darn water was this deep, and the waves were coming over the back so hard that the bilge pumps couldn't push it out.
He had his
they
motor.
were stopping the bilge pumps.
Oh yeah, he had his big motor. He had his big motor in the wind. That's what took us so long. You remember, we were
Yes.
wanting to get the nose of that boat back out towards the wind.
Yes.
Yeah, and you jumped out, and I said, just turn every button on, because it was an older boat.
Yes. It
So,
was like
but
old-
one button's got to be the bilge. You're just like, turn everything on,
Yeah,
all the lights are on.
and it started it started pumping.
And it's
And
like-
that poor guy's up there trying to dodge a storm. He has no idea. Him and his partner, either one. I felt sorry for the guy.
Oh yeah, and we've got a 8.5 pounder and a over 6 pounder that can win any hour that's left.
Yeah, it's a check.
Yeah, it's a
Both
check.
of them's a check.
It's a $600 to $1,000 check to a
And if we time it
$2,000
right
check.
on a lot of double hour, my 6-pounder's gonna get us in first or second that hour. We're trying to do this math in a tornado.
Yeah.
Trying to keep this guy's boat from sinking. And then we've got Mr. Canoe.
Yeah, and then you remember the boat sunk and me and you started reaching over the side of the pier, grabbing his stuff out.
Just throwing all I could up on the dock.
Yeah, and I think you grabbed that guy's net,
Yes.
and you threw it on the dock, and I grabbed the net and was catching all their other
From the other
shit.
side.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Then the locker started opening and stuff just kept coming. The only thing that didn't come up was a life vest.
And the last thing was just the very tip of the nose of that boat.
Yeah, it was just tied up.
Yep, sitting up. I think they were from Georgia, maybe.
Yeah, and they didn't come back down there till it was sunk and we had everything thrown up there. Like, he didn't even know. He walked by it, I think, and didn't even know it was his boat. Like, he didn't.
Yeah, no, because it's kind of like, yeah, you know, man, your dog gets drowned down here. We're just waiting for somebody coming down here and holler their name.
Yes.
Because it's like,
By the way, we can't see a number on the boat. We can't tell you what kind of boat it is. We can't tell you nothing.
I remember it was like blue, white, and black.
Yes.
It's like because that nose was sticking out.
But man, them guys thanked us like 10 times.
Oh yeah, they did.
I mean, we
And
didn't.
then you had the jackass that was standing there on the dock beside them, knows we just netted all that stuff up, grabbed it, tried to keep the dude's boat from sinking.
Yes.
And he says, the double hour's not till next hour. And you remember me and you were we were trying to help somebody else so much that we were like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be the next hour.
Yeah, we're good.
Mm-hmm. You know
All we have to
that.
do is keep our boat above the water.
That's right. And you remember that guy's partner come walking down there. They got in the boat, struck out. It was really the double hour then his
It
buddy
was.
won it.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, he lied to us.
Yep.
Because we were in panic.
Well,
We
yeah.
had the flyer and everything. We knew the damn bonus hours.
Yeah, and they're
But it-
texting you every 10 minutes telling you this.
Yeah, and we pulled up. We were like, you know, when we're, I mean,
and we had time. We
for
had
probably-
time.
Oh yeah, it was 20 minutes probably that we screwed around with that guy's boat
Yes.
Trying
But we
to
had
like-
20 minutes to give. I mean,
because we were wanting. Remember, I ran up there and they told me what was leading. It was like a 7-2 or 6-10 or something,
yes.
and
And you
I could have won.
that. You couldn't see no more bags. Remember, I remember you
Right.
going back and thought there ain't no more big ones up there.
Because I said, boy, if it's like this the next hour, and you said, what? I said, what you want to do? And he said, hey, you said, I don't know, man. I think we chance it. That's what you said. Remember?
We were.
And I'm like, yeah, and we won.
Yeah.
We won that hour. But if we would have known when dude lied to us, you know what I mean? Like we could have went up there and won.
And if
Probably
you remember,
about
it messed us up
3,200
too.
probably.
We couldn't fish no more because that hour. Then we had to wait for that gap. Then we didn't have no time to get nowhere to fish because we didn't have no spots up there. So it kind of goofed us up. On the way home, we figured out that it messed up 3 hours of fishing.
Oh yeah, I did.
Over one line.
And we went. Okay, that I always wanted to take the polygraph test.
Yes.
I still to this day have not got to take a polygraph test.
I can get Todd on the phone. He knows a guy.
I wish I could just take a polygraph test and then just ask me just random shit just to see how I do. And just me just lie on 3 or 4 answers just for the hell of it. Just see if it
You know, I took one at Todd's Tackle. You know,
dead accurate. Was it dead accurate?
Yes, but I tell you what, he tries to throw you off because it's not reading your blood. Maybe not your blood pressure, but like your heart and there's something on your hand and something here. Maybe just 2 or 3 things that thing is
Actually
calculating.
detecting.
But he would say, "What's your name?" Richard Roberson. What year was you born? 1982. You married? Yes. Is your last name Roberson? Yes. Have you used the restroom today? Yes. How many car wrecks you ever been in? I don't know. So more than one, less than 10. He would just ask, and he would throw an oddball question every 6th question. You could looking back now, you could about gauge it every 4 to 7.
He would ask you something back to fishing or
No, actually, he never asked nothing about I mean, like, did you catch them during the tournament hours?
right.
But that would be question number. There ain't but about 4 questions that's relevant. Like, what's your name? Did you catch these fish legally? Did you seine a pond? But that's about it. But no, there's about 25 questions, and it costs Todd like $50 for him to do it.
Yeah, it's
That guy showed
expensive.
him
It's
this.
expensive to
Yeah.
get them out there.
And he had an old machine. You know, I mean, it wasn't like probably what the FBI uses,
Just
I'm
kinda-
sure, but it was just simple.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you pass it with flying colors. So, but they just ask, like, are you married? How many kids you got?
Just random stuff.
Yes.
I guess they're kind of seeing. I know he's not gonna lie on his name. Rex, he's not sure of. So he may not be sure of if he didn't catch those fish in the same hour. So that would kind of give the same etch on there, you know.
Right.
You remember after that they would call out randomly like 3 people per hour. You remember that?
Yes.
For the polygraph,
Yeah.
and I was one of the ones they selected.
Mm-hmm.
It was first place, 6th place, 9th or something. It's 1, 6, 10 or something. I just remember 1, 6 something. And you remember me and you went to the guy. We went up there. And I was like, man, I'm gonna take this polygraph test. This is gonna be fun. I want to see what the hell it's like. You know, I watch so much damn crime shit. I want to see. You know, I want to say I took one.
Yeah.
You know, and then you remember the old fella. He walked down there with us. We went through the whole boat.
The whole
Life jackets, kill switch,
fire extinguisher.
what you caught it on, fire extinguisher, the damn. How many more fish do you have in the live well? You know all that. And you remember I said I have 1 fish. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the 4-pounders
But the double.
that we were going to try to, if they hadn't had a 4-pounder weighed in, it was $1,000.
Yeah,
right.
Even.
So I remember I don't think I weighed them. I think I threw them both in there. Actually, I know I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I threw them both in there.
Yep.
Because I said, this is a good 4-pounder. But, you know, it was one of those deals where you had to stay on trolling motor because of the storm, you know.
Yes.
And I remember I threw them both in there. And you remember he got me to open live well.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at him. He said, well, if you're only going to have 1 more hour if you was going to weigh 1 of them. I said, I'll put them on scales. And he said, are you trying to win the 4-pound even? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, it's already been won. You got one, 11 to 12 or something.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm not going to try to weigh them. I'm not going to try to weigh these 2. I'm going to let them go.
Yeah.
And he said, okay. And I said, what about, where do I go for that polygraph? He said, you passed. You remember that?
Yes.
He said, if you would have showed me anything of dishonesty or anything I would have felt funny about or anything, I would have sent you up there. I'll send you up there.
Yeah.
He said, 9 times out of 10, when their name's called out, they don't ever come back for their check, and they're gone from the dock before you can damn, you know. He said, you remember that? He said in Texas one time, it was like
Sam Rayburn.
It was like a 7th. It was the 7th. The person that got 7th never showed back up to the tournament again.
No.
Like was done. Like was just gone.
Yes.
And never tried to get his check or anything. And he said, that's the people that we know we've caught. But if you would have shown me any sign or if I'd have felt any feeling, I'd sent you up there to that trailer.
No.
You want it? And he said, if you want to take it, you can. You remember that?
Yes.
And then you said, I was like, how much time's left? And I think it was like 38 minutes or something. And I had one of these wild dream shit. And I'm like, hell, let's go back and finish it. We're going to go back over here to this rip route and we're going to go to the bridge.
Yep.
It was like, yeah. Yeah, no.
But we've got to discuss the guy
bridge.
with the dog.
That was, oh, yeah.
So we're there, and I know that people just listen to this and they can see a little bit, but the front of that boat, with them waves coming in, was probably from lowest to highest 8 to 10 foot.
They were high. They were like, it was like a damn sea.
Probably 4 or 5.
It was like an ocean.
Yes, it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a guy that comes in there with a dog, and he's got a houseboat sitting right out in the middle of the lake. 300 yards from the marina right there, from the ramp.
Goose Pond.
At Goose Pond Colony. And he's got plenty of money, and he's got a stupid dog with him. And he's got a skiff that I wouldn't have got in that bad weather. I wouldn't have got in probably in a pond, but he's fixing to try to go back out there, I guess, to his wife or whatever with this dog. And his motor won't crank. And man, we was nice to him. We was like, hey, if you get it to crank, we'll untie you, you know, and I was standing on the back of your boat holding him off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he finally got it to crank, and he's got it in forward. And he nearly runs up on the rock, because, you know, it's real rocky right there between the ramp and the dock. And man, he crammed that thing in reverse, and when he did, he turned left, and that son of a gun hit the back of that Ranger and that power pole. How it didn't break it off there or break the prop, I do not know. And man, you looked at me and said, what did it break? How bad is it? And I said, I honestly can't see nothing.
Yeah, because we were still bouncing around and shit.
Yes, and like I'm holding on to the power pole trying to look, and I thought, man, I don't think it's done anything. And I remember hitting the button back there. And the power pole folded out and come right back in. I said, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't apologize or nothing.
Mm-mm.
Like, he's gone with his dog. And that dog's drowned. There's 6 inches of water in his skiff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That was the same year. About a month. No, it was about a week before that. I was in another tournament, and I caught an 8-pound even. And me and you, I'm like, we've got to be on this bridge. We've got to be. We left that. All right, we're back. I had to take a pee break. That's a small bladder, over 40.
Yeah, you
But-
have that. Are you over 40?
Yeah, 40 in like 3 weeks.
That's right.
I'm getting tat work this week too. I'm going back. I'm kind of do you ever feel like you're kind of turning back into like your younger self?
Yes.
I do too. I'm in that right now.
Yes. Like, physically I feel that way. I mean, until I get worse life out.
Yeah.
I mean, I just turned 41. So, my life's, I'm on the back side of my life. I'll never be 82. So, I mean,
You don't know. You really don't know, dude. I know some people that's been hard on themselves that's freaking live to be 100. And I know some people that have been some workout fools and eat this, and eat
get over
carrots.
53.
Yeah, eat like a damn rabbit and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
They're so healthy and they're running.
Yeah, and they're at the GNC and they're flopping around.
Yeah, they got
They're
feet
behind.
pictures where they got blisters hanging off the end of their toes and
Yeah.
from where they ran some kind of 5K
And they're like
marathon.
an Ethiopian. You're like,
Correct.
you need a
Yeah.
cheeseburger. Like, it would have
Dead.
you. So,
Fucking 44. I've
Yes.
seen those people. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for real.
Yes.
Well, it's like, that's when people like me, most people like me and you, it's kind of one of those deals like where it's like, shit, they were healthy.
yeah.
It's like,
And I ate at the Holly Pond Cafe today. They're going to tell me what I ate.
and it's like,
Yeah.
they were healthy. Holy shit, I got to get healthier.
Yeah. And
I don't do that.
lasts for a day.
I don't do it.
No.
I don't even do it. I really don't. Like, I'm not one of those people where I'm like, God damn, what was wrong with him?
But I mean, I did do that. You remember, I weighed 375 pounds at one time.
Yeah.
I got down to 200. I'm about 240 now. I'm
Are
a
you?
good size. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably high school weight.
About 200, 210 or so.
210 or something? Yeah. Because you're just one of the bigger guys at school.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like Preston Morris big, but I also wasn't like Chris Carr, Ethiopian.
Right,
I was
yeah.
Middle of the road.
That's what, talking about you, I know you know how to scrap. I've seen your ass in scrap or 3.
I can do it.
Yeah. And you're so calm. And I love that. And that's
don't
the
like
people.
it.
That's the people you have to be afraid of. And but it's like it's kind of like if you have this rattlesnake over there, but he's really friendly. Yeah, man, super nice. Whatever. But I go poking this bastard with a stick.
Yeah, you're bit.
You're done. Yeah, know.
You're bit.
One of my favorite stories of you ever, and I tell this shit all the time. And we were talking about this before we had to take a pee break. You had to get some water. I want to say we probably left for the lake around 3:30, and we got there, and it was a McDonald's Big Splash tournament.
Yeah.
And for people that don't know, on the Big Splash tournament, it is a shotgun start at 6 o'clock. They have polygraph. And most people are. I don't even know if
It's like to the point that you don't even let a lure hit the water till 6:00.
Right. We remember me and you always waited like 6:04 or so.
We're just going to make sure. Because I was going to text you and tell you to hammer down.
Yeah.
And when we got that text, it may have had to make.
It was kind of like, man, you'd see it like a big splash or something on the bridge.
You're not going to. I'm not.
It's like, what
picking up
time
the
is
rod.
it? So what time is it? 5:59. Oh, shit.
We're not.
6 o'clock now.
But it's my
Dude, I ain't gonna
right.
lie to you. Did you get a text yet? No, I didn't get a text yet. Did you get a text yet? No, I didn't get a text yet.
No, I'll send a ding.
Yeah. It's like, there it is.
Make sure they didn't cancel it.
There it
Way
is.
to go.
Yeah. So you could actually go out if you wanted to stay all night, as long as you didn't cast the lure before 6 o'clock.
Yes. As long as you didn't catch a fish before 6 o'clock.
Right, yeah. As long as you didn't,
You could have been out jug fishing all night and decided to fish it if you had your money back.
Right, correct. Yeah. So me and you got to the bridge. It was I'd say around 3:45 in the morning. We had about 2 hours to sit there and think about it.
We've had a biscuit from the Shell station.
Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, we get to fishing. I don't remember, did we even catch anything really rough? We didn't catch anything for a while.
No.
No, that was actually that same day we left there.
We was trying to figure out where the fish was at.
Correct, yeah.
Because they could move
Yeah.
around that bridge.
Yeah, according to the it was pulling water, pushing water.
And the wind.
Yeah,
They were
Shad
just-
was on one side or Shad was on. Yeah, it was just a weird deal. But we got there, you know. And we've been fishing. It's probably 8:30.
I was going to say 8, 9 o'clock.
And we kind of felt in our hearts that corner of the riprap and the bridge was the hot one. We
Yeah.
just kind of thought,
Yeah.
this is
It'd
where
been
I've
hot
seen the most
before.
fish. Yeah, I just caught an 8-pounder here last week.
Yeah.
You know? So, dude comes up. You remember there's a guy fishing the other side of the bridge, 50 feet away, 40 feet?
So he's not bothering us.
No, he's not bothering us at all.
He's probably further than that because you got to remember that's a 4-lane.
Yeah, so he's probably a good 50 feet.
Yeah.
And there's this blonde-headed guy, kind of looks like Justin Bieber, but a lot taller and a little bigger. And he pulls in, and he had his woman with him, right? Didn't he have his
Yes.
woman? Yeah. Had his woman with him. And we hear him tell the guy, well, I know you might have been here all day or all this morning, but this is one of my favorite spots.
We thought it was a guy to start with. Remember that she stood there? Yeah. And I still didn't care.
And this dude, they kind of get into it up there a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's finally, he fishes his shit out. He pretty much pulls up, puts his big motor in this dude's trailer motor, starts fishing. Mm-hmm. And you know what sucks about a lot of that? But if you're not anchored down, that's totally legit and it sucks.
Yes.
So, by God, best thing you can do is scare them, throw a lure at them, something, give them a little warning, just keep throwing towards their boat.
Yeah.
So you did that about twice, I think. He starts kind of veering towards us. Richard, he's throwing out here. He's not even in the hunt spot. I don't still fishing
don't care.
And old dude, he gets, what about midways of the bridge? You said, hey, buddy, I don't really think you're going to come up here on us like that, like you just did that other guy. You remember that?
Yes.
And you was so calm.
Yeah.
And you was like, and you kind of giggled a little bit, and you said, is that guy pissing you off on me? And I said, if he gets up in front of him, it's probably going to piss me off.
And he did.
Well, he come on a little closer. He kept coming a little closer.
He's coming to our point.
Yeah, and you go, you said, hey, buddy, I don't know if you know I'm kidding or not, but I wouldn't come any closer. And
That's
guy,
nice.
Yeah, you was. And you said, we've been here since 3:30 this morning, or 4 o'clock. We've been here since 4 o'clock this morning. Old boy says, oh, have y'all? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Man, I sure would like to get the fish over there. And you said, well, if you just want to do that, you should have been here about 3 hours ago. Because you said, if you get close enough for that boat that I can get in it, I'm going to get in there, and one of us is going to have a bad day. And
I popped off about his wife. And I said, I don't really care if you wife him or not. One of us is fishing out for worse problem than what we got right now.
And old boy kind of looked, and you kind of laughed, and you said, now I'm being serious, I want you to know. And I turned around and looked, I was like, come on, man, just don't. And you said, no, hell no. And you said, I may not catch a damn thing, but I can see you up here, and I know you feeling it. I ain't fishing let this son of a bitch get in between us and that bridge. I said, okay, you keep him back here.
I mean it.
But he went on through the bridge to the other side.
Yes.
Yeah, that shit was funny. And if it would have been some damn loud mouth, like you was serious, like you were like, hey, buddy,
If you get close enough, but
get close enough to get in the boat with you. It ain't gonna be good for one of us.
No.
It was so funny because it was hell. You were just saying, by God, I'm gonna get in there. I may get my ass whooped, but it ain't gonna be good for either one of us.
No. One of us is not going to be fishing here. Like,
oh yeah, and I pulled up. I've had a hothead pull up to me, and by God, you bastard! You saw me catch these the other day, blah blah. It's like, brother, I don't know if you know or not, but I've been in LaGrange, Georgia for 2 weeks. This is the first day I've been on the water.
and I'm not in a tournament. If you just said something nice, I'll get out of you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah.
like now I'm gonna hide what I'm throwing, and I'm gonna still fish here, and I'm not gonna let you get in
Yeah.
here.
I'm going to throw it back to your worm at the bridge. Yeah, I wouldn't. That guy right there. Oh, Blondie.
Oh, Blondie, yeah.
I was fixing to light his candles too.
Oh, I knew you was. I could tell. I could just tell, man, by the voice.
I was ready to throw that rod and reel down and head right over there to him, but didn't.
It was just so funny because it was just like so calming. It was like, dude, and when I get in that boat, we may be swimming. Like one of us is getting our ass whipped before I get out of here. And I know who I had my money on.
I mean, boy, I done got keyed up. And I don't even know, I guess sleep deprivation. I don't know what but I mean, we've been there that long.
Well, seeing that other dude get cut off.
And he didn't say a word. Like over a week. I mean, and he'd been there a long time too. It ain't like he'd just pulled up. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of like the
disrespect, dude.
Yes.
I mean, it really is.
And what's so weird is like people talk about like the NFL being disrespectful, but fishing's about that. I mean, we're gonna say the national anthem. We're gonna salute the flag.
Everybody's
we're gonna say a prayer. But then we got Heather and this fish come up here and cut us off, and we're 50 foot from the bank. Like you're fishing to get in the rocks. Like your boat is in the rocks. I'm fishing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're. Oh, I can get mad thinking about it.
All right, I got one more story about me and you. Talking about courtesy. We were courtesy fishermen. A lot of people know it as they hear this, they're going to be like, oh, Jacob, boy, he loved them damn bridges. That was before the rig, too. I always like fishing the bridges.
Yeah.
I don't know if I broke down or something one time. That old bumblebee I had caught a down 4-pounder off the bridge or something, but I was always obsessed with them. Even before the rig came out, I loved bridges.
Yeah. If you ain't on nothing gunner, we'll go to a bridge.
You damn right. And you will, if you fish all day long and you catch one, it's going to be a damn big one. And if you go over there and you catch 100 of them, 22 of them is going to be big.
You're going to have 30 pounds.
Yeah, that's the way it is. It's a funnel. You know? And I'll never forget, dude. Me and you were coming back across Browns Creek. And I'm like, I had this feeling that spot on the bridge, a different spot, that shit was just going to be, you have those gut instincts, you know.
Yes.
I always had pretty good fishing instincts where I'm like, this buzzbait's not making bubbles on top of the water. I'm freaking going to try something else, you know.
Yes.
And me and him pull up. We're running 75 mile an hour and skid in there, and we coast right on the bridge. And I start throwing. We marking fish. It's just, boy, me and you on high on the hog. You remember that?
We're fishing chomp.
Yep. And you look around. And you said, "Damn, man, that ski boat's on the causeway."
You know, what waves just slapping it up.
Oh my God. And I'm up there in the front, and I'm like, I could tell that wasn't supposed to be, you know.
No, it's half up on the rock.
Oh yeah. And you said, dude, this lady just jumped out onto the riprap. You remember that?
Yes.
And when I turned around and looked, and it was kind of a sandy blonde lady. I'd say they was in their 60s. Yeah. And you said, man, no, I think we need to go help them. And I said, hell, I think so too. I said, by God, you know what? We go help them. They really are stranded on Southern Causeway. We pull them somewhere. We're going to win this damn thing.
Yeah. We're going to win regardless.
Yeah, because we might have threw 2 minutes there.
Yes.
You know, and I remember just watching you looking, you was just looking out the back. I didn't hear you casting or nothing because, I'm up in the zone. But I still do pay attention to the noise.
If you remember, we went under the bridge and the waves was big on that side. And the trolling motor was coming out of the water. And like you was on it continuously, I could look. Like once we got under the bridge and I thought, that's trouble. Like we got trouble down there.
And see, and that's when we come back through the bridge is when I said, the wind's blowing so hard, the current's not even playing a part.
No.
This might be where they're at. You know, because you fish so many bridges. Yes, we fish so many bridges.
The video you got to the pump house.
Oh, dude, yeah. So we got to tell that one too. God dang, it's some funny shit. But we go down there, we hook to them, we pull them. You remember the guy said, give me both of y'all's phone numbers, addresses. I'm going to mail y'all's entry fee back. Because you remember, we told them to fire on the lake, whatever y'all were there. Gunnersville Boat Mart. We pulled them over there. he's gonna pay me this, pay me that. They got a big camper over at the campground, this and that. But they had
y'all are okay. We don't.
yeah, they had a spot rented there. I mean, they had plenty of money to pay us back.
Yes.
You know? And
money wasn't a problem.
No.
They just didn't have a boat to bring.
no, and you remember we got up there, and dude said, "You know what? How much is the entry fee?" And me and you wouldn't tell him.
No.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, what kind of tournament is it?" We're like, "It's just a Saturday damn Wildcat, ain't no biggie, whatever." And the guy pulls his wallet out, and when the guy pulled the wallet out, you pushed us off.
Yeah.
Because she said, "No, you do have some cash."
Yes.
Yes, and you said you was untying that thing off that cleat, and you said, yep." Said, "Have a good day. If that's it, we're good." And that guy was like, "No, go." And it was like, "No." And we fired that boat up. Me and you was laughing. We was doing the peace signs.
Yeah, right here.
And I said, "Damn it, Richard, we're gonna win this tournament." You remember we didn't catch shit. But hey, we did a good deed.
That's right.
Yes.
And then people still remember us, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever, if they're still living, wherever they're at, they still remember.
Oh yeah, they're gonna say, "Hey man, these two dudes, they just pulled right up." Because you remember, I wouldn't go. I was afraid with the rope that I had, it wasn't long enough.
And you remember the trouble we had to get hooked to them because of waves? Like you was having to keep the boat back, and then was trying to figure out how to hook to something.
And I started with that trolling motor. I said, once we idle by them and asked them, "Was everything okay?" And they said no.
Yeah.
We come back by and you said, "I've never done this before. I don't know. What are we gonna do?" You remember that? And I said, "Well, I'll tell you one damn thing. That rope I got ain't about 15 feet long, so I'm gonna have to trolling motor it. If I hit them, they're already in the rocks."
Yeah,
you
they'll
said,
keep us from hitting the rocks.
"Yeah," and you said, "Hell, huh? Whatever."
I'll talk to them.
And you said, "Wait, what do you want to do?" We said, you talked about it or whatever, and it was all calm down,
Yeah.
We idled by.
We got a motor and two power poles that we've got to miss. Like to hook to the back. We're like,
Oh yeah,
we got
and
to
I've
put
got
some thought into this.
I'm not really used to having to be towed in because if I ever broke down, I'd troll motor.
Yeah.
I could get to a boat dock, call a buddy, and say, "Hey man, come over here and get my keys.
Yes.
Let's go get my truck, bring it to this ramp." And I got with that ski boat. When you're done, you're out of options.
Yeah, you're done.
That paddle ain't gonna handle that.
No, and the wind's blowing 60 mile an hour.
It was
straight out
blowing
of the-
hard,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we ended up going toward Honeycomb to get out of the wind on that bluff.
It was terrible.
It was rough.
Yeah,
It was rough.
That was. It was about this time of year
Oh yeah,
because it was cool.
It was cool.
It was cool outside.
But the sun was out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the weather was. You would have thought it was pretty if you was inside of a vehicle, but it wasn't. It
That
wasn't
wind
pretty on the water.
whipping.
Yes.
Well, we got to tell the damn get the net story.
We got video proof.
It's me and you never realized it.
Whitney caught it.
I know. Yeah, and she. Okay, I gotta tell the story. This is freaking classic gold. Okay, me and you, we were fishing this tournament. It's in November. It was in November. I remember It was the first Lazy Man.
Mm-hmm.
We ran around. We had 3 fish.
And me and you had been working so much. We hadn't got to pre-fish.
We have not
like you was
pre-fished
in Louisiana or somewhere up north, or you wasn't around here.
No. You remember we ran back. This would have been before Mark Rose won the FLW tournament back there.
In the back of Browns.
Very back of Browns.
Yes.
This is before him. My in-laws have a boathouse that literally sits right in front of that.
Yes.
So I knew that little spot perfect. And you remember it was like 21 or 19 degrees or something that night. And we were like, we didn't really know what the fish was going to be doing.
No, we didn't have a clue. You just knew that situation before. You'd caught him with a rattle trap.
I caught him in a rattle trap in a major sleet storm back there one time.
Yes.
And had like 26 pounds. I mean, just in like seconds. I have caught fish back there from summertime all the way through fall, winter. I mean, the whole damn summertime.
Go from the airplane to the back and around to the stumps. You'll find them. They're
Oh
back
yeah,
there somewhere.
they're there. Yeah,
For the power line back.
This time of year.
Yes.
Damn right. So, me and you pull back there, And I said, if we don't catch one off a rattle trap here, we're in trouble. Because I never came back here at this time of year and not caught a fish on rattle trap.
Yes.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, if we can get back there and we can catch 3, or we had 3. If we can catch, no, we had 2, because you caught 2 back there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we had 2 fish.
Leaving when you said we need to make a cast or 2 right there, and you'd already put your stuff up.
Yes, I did. I said
I was hung up, and all of a sudden my line took off, and I said, well, there's one. Remember, I run the darn rattle trap all the way into my rod. You said, you ain't got to do that. I said, well, you didn't have the net. I just flipped it over in the boat. And I forgot what you might have been putting in live well, and I made another cast
and caught
on
another
the rod and caught another 3-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
We hit 4.
I think we dropped trolling motor. We fished for 10, 15 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
We need a big one.
We're going after this hog now.
We're
We're sitting
going for
on
a
about 11 pounds, maybe 12 pounds.
Maybe.
We run up there, and by God, we get in the position on the causeway. And there's one problem. There's a boat with 2 black dudes on it, right exactly where I needed to be.
And they're catfishing.
They're catfishing, yes.
Nicest 2 dudes
You've ever met in your life.
I mean, they're like the coolest 2.
If I could have jumped the boat and hugged both of them rascals, and I really think that I could have just swiped the fish on their face and just been like, you're a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we pull up. It was the first cast.
Yeah, I've not made a cast. I'm just standing back there trying to get a rig unhung.
And I tell the two black guys, they're so funny. You remember they were going back and forth, and the older guy in the back was telling us that the younger guy in the front said he's been trying to bass fish over here all day long, ain't caught nothing.
Yes. Says
there ain't no fish around here. And I said,
man, do y'all care if we just make a few casts right
I
here?
said, I really am going to have, if I said the spot exactly, everybody would know, like,
yeah.
Okay, I know what he's talking about. These people are tied off to something. And I said, I'm literally going to have to put my big motor in the side of y'all's boat. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And they said, come on, man. And you remember the older guy in the back said, if they catch one right here, by God, you ain't worth the crap. Talking to his buddy in the front. And he said, we ain't been doing nothing but just sitting out here doing some crappie fishing and catfishing. They were doing all kinds of fishing. We've caught a couple of crappie. They didn't have, I don't think, did they catch a catfish or 2? There was no bass. They said
guys talk about catfishing too. When we get
they said there was no bass. You remember he said,
there's no bass here.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Is there any bass in this lake?
So my motor's like 6 inches from their boat. They're
he
totally
grabbed a
cool.
hold of it.
Yeah, he loved it. I mean, they loved it. They were like, by God, I mean, the dude in the back was really
I
like.
think we were in your Ranger.
We was.
We was in the rat boat.
Vans, sporting goods. Yeah, so when I got back there, you know, I threw that cast, and I just was kind of thinking it down. I was probably in 18 feet of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I started that thing, and I'm reeling, and you're kind of bullshitting with them 2 guys, you know.
Well, I'm sitting with them.
Yeah, because I've literally got, because I knew that ball of shad had been coming around between that hump and that causeway.
Yes. And I couldn't fish. I mean, really.
No, really, you couldn't fish.
They was that.
It was like, this is our only prayer. Yeah. Like, really. We need a big one. We even told them, we said, we are not going to be here. We got to be right over there in like 12 minutes. It was something like that.
Yeah, or 18 or something like that. We've got 10 casts in us, and we'll be out of y'all's hair.
Mm-hmm. We're just here, you know. Thank you, God. Thank you for letting us fish.
And these guys are so nice. They're like they're cheering us on, wanting us to catch
they are. And I bomb that cast out there, and I'm reeling, and I can feel the bait coming through the shad.
Yes.
You know, it's like tick, 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 tick.
Boom.
Boom. And I feel like that fish was probably about 12 feet from the boat, maybe.
Yeah, right out there.
Yeah, and when it stuck, it was just a straight down rod. I said, get the net. Or I squatted down a little bit, and I'm like, get the net. Hey, get the net. Begging, dude, get the net, damn it, God, please, Lord, please get the net.
Get the damn net.
When you got it, and you netted the fish, and you got it in the boat, and I said, when I say get the net, I mean get the damn net.
I didn't think nothing about it. The damn net slapped full of fish.
We didn't even think nothing about it.
No.
So
It never even crossed. I don't even know I heard you say it.
we high five in the video.
Yes.
Right after I say,
Because it's a stud.
yes, it was a 6.5 pounder or something. It was by God half of what we already had.
Yes. We needed it.
Yes, we did. And I said, I gave you 5, or we gave each other 5, and I was like, when I say get the net, get the damn net. And we were so pumped up, it didn't even matter,
No.
And it felt like it took you 5 minutes to get the net.
No, and in the video, it took 10 seconds.
Maybe.
Yes. By
Maybe
the time I
10
could step
seconds.
off, miss the seat, grab the net, and stick it under the fish. Like, I'm not missing nothing.
And you've never not netted one. You've never not went off with a net.
No.
It was just what was going through my mind.
Because we had to have it.
We had to have it.
Yeah.
So my gosh, the 2 black dudes are freaking going
Good God, they about
crazy.
turned their boat over.
They did. And
And
you
I did
remember,
that.
we gave them Alabama rigs.
Yes.
We did. And the one that I caught that one on, I actually cut it off and flung it in their boat. And I
Because
said,
we was hiding them.
yeah, and I said, buddy, if you'll throw that, you'll catch one. And you remember the old fella goes, there you go. By God, if you can't catch one now, man, just pull up here and throw one cast and caught that big one,
There is fish in here, I told you.
Yeah, and they went to cracking up. We were like, thank you so much. Thank you. We run back, and we're there 7-8 minutes early, probably 6 minutes early. Jordan Lee and Matt Lee are also in this tournament.
Yes. And a ranger that ain't got a bit of carpet and half the deck ledge or lose.
That's one thing I will say about them forever.
They
didn't.
did not.
Material shit did not matter. with
No,
them.
they just loved it.
They didn't have to have the nicest stuff. They didn't have to.
No.
No. Jordan Lee and Matt, they're a ranger. When you pulled the compartment up to put your rods in, the damn compartment lid come off the boat.
Yeah, like it took 2 people to set it back on.
They would. Yeah, sometimes they would move it
Yes.
and put all their rods and stuff back in there.
Yes. And then half the carpet's gone off of it. Like
Yeah.
they don't.
And we won the tournament, and and we stood out there and bullshitted with them.
Yeah, going back to the road.
Yeah, for 4 or 5 minutes, or probably
Nice.
20 minutes.
Nice as they can.
Oh yeah, both of them, man, they're great dudes. They were proud of us too, and I'll tell you, one of them called the strikers and said that we had just beat them.
Yeah.
It was not a deal to them that they had been beaten. They were telling them because they knew that we were good friends with them too. And Sean calls me. It was
Y'all
like,
stuck them.
well, they were like, it's really like, okay, I just beat Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr. in a race.
Yes.
And neither one of them are pissed about it. They're not jealous. They don't care.
They just got outrun.
Yeah. It was just
Hey.
they even asked us, and I'll never forget, I swear to God, I think it was Matt actually said it. We just went out, brothers, throwing a big swim bait around old grass mats all day.
Yeah.
But they were actually calling people proud of us.
Yes.
That was cool, And it's a story we can tell.
Yes.
It's like, who the hell, I know people do it, but like, who average Joe?
Don't know. We were on lake in a month.
And me and you were just overwhelmed, and I said, man.
And you looked at me when we weighed in, they paid us, and you said, that's how you do it. I thought, if that's how we do it, that was hilarious. I won't never forget that.
And
There's a story that goes along with that too. That's a good one. You called Jody Howard about it, if you remember.
Jody Harrison, yeah.
Harrison, good dude, good dude. So
Very good guy.
3 weeks later, you're stuck in Louisiana or somewhere in South Georgia or whatever. I don't remember where you're stuck. So remember, I called you and I said, "Hey, is Headrush fishing?" And you said, "I think he is." And I said, "Okay, well, I'm not going to run them holes.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Gorman's going to be my brother-in-law." And you said, "Well, here, run these other ones because I know he don't know." Y'all had holes and me and you had holes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, here's my plan. I'm going to the bridge first. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm going to back with Brown's. And I said, Brian ain't got to worry about nothing because he's a Smith Lake guy. Like, he don't care.
Right, yeah.
Like
I was going to Smith.
Oh.
Like, if I ever got information off of Smith, that information was put into my GPS on my boat. I ran the holes, struggled like shit, knew it was me, knew it was in my mind, knew it was everything.
And was good.
Roger Sams or Wesley or freaking Craig Daniel or one of them guys could have caught the hell out of the fish on it. It just... Smith Lake, I did not have the feel. I didn't have the feel for it.
And then you went out there and fished some autism tournaments and all that stuff. We literally just donated the money.
We did because we thought, and you know what's funny about? Okay, there's a big difference between Smith Lake people and Guntersville people.
Yeah,
I was fishing against most of the people that tried to help me in that tournament.
Yes, we did. They told us where to go.
Because we told, I told Sean. Sean Striker gave me spots. Roger gave me spots.
Yes.
Craig gave me spots. Because I said, I really wish me and Richard could go to Smith. I could care less. And I said, I would love if you could just tell me somewhere we could go catch a shit ton of them on top water.
Yes. By the way, we're never coming back out here. We don't fish.
We don't care. Well, I would just love, if by God, if we'd have caught 100 fish apiece and our best five would have weighed 8 pounds,
I'd have been tickled.
You ain't lying. I didn't have anything to do. And more than likely, because me and you talked about it all the time in those tournaments.
Yeah.
Hell, if we win, by God, we're going to give them $1,000 back.
Yeah, I just already want the money.
It's like, it'd just be fun to say we won.
But we was there trying. Like
Oh, yeah. And I had people that really put me on really good spots.
I put Trey on one over 2 weeks ago, and they finished 17th out of 100 and something boats. It's the only spot I knew out there, that in the Lions Club. And if you remember one of them tournaments, we was back there with Jordan Lee and Matt Lee.
That's
they
right.
was on one side of the slope, we was on the other.
It was Matt and Chad Hall.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were,
But the funny thing about Smith Lake is, I think we trolled right past them, and they knew, I'm sure they were like, man, them guys are Tennessee River guys. They're here. They're donating their $150.
Yes.
Hell, I ain't gonna bat an eye. You know what I mean?
No.
And
how are y'all?
And we come by them, and they were in one of the spots we'd seen all the schoolers. So.
Yes.
And I remember me and you went on past them. I said, by God, if nothing else, we'll learn how we might could win next year.
Yeah.
If they figure out how to catch these damn schooling fish, they're going to win.
Yes. If they can catch them.
Yeah. And it was like, hell, they can have that. Because I remember going by and I told Matt, I said, hey, we ain't bothering shit. We ain't catching shit. Hell, we're here for the fun.
Spectating.
We're here for the fun. I'm going to go on past you. You plan on fishing that. And he said, nope. And I was okay. It's just, hell, we're in here. A lot of times I'd rather do that than I had run around. I'd rather just pick me an area
and fish it today.
Mm-hmm.
Learn.
And you know what's sad about Smith Lake? I've been on Smith Lake a lot of times.
See, I hadn't.
And I've never, me and Brady Harbison a couple of times would have been like 12th, 15th place out of 80 boats or something like that. And we had a damn blast. But just Smith Lake alone, man, I've just never had that feeling.
No. I had that when I was with you. And I felt like that you was a way better fisherman than I was.
I drown you out real quick at Smith Lake because it's like, dude, I don't know. So-and-so told me to throw this damn crankbait parallel to the bank. And then his son, which would be Wesley, he told me to put this shaky head. One of us on the shaky head, one of us on this. And you know what?
And then Sean says to have 4-pound test line and throw a shaky head all day, you blow it in the face.
And he's a 6'6", 290 pounds
of solid stone.
Yep, and he takes 3 steps back and sets the hook on that 8-pound test or whatever, and he gets the fish in.
Yes.
Where I lean back and I pop the damn line. It's a damn technique. It's something just weird.
Yes.
I'll tell you, just Smith Lake in general. Okay, Wesley Sams called me one time, and I had took him to Guntersville and showed him some of the spots because he's a Smith Lake guy. He's not on Guntersville.
He's not coming.
He wasn't
He's up
harm
here
for me.
sponsoring too.
Right? Yeah. You know, it's a tournament on their
You just
their
want to
trail.
make a show.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a tournament on their trail.
Right.
You know, and I tell Wesley, I said, man, I carry him up there, whatever. I said, look, if you ever get on a hole at Smith Lake, and I can catch a 5-pound spot, and you ain't got somebody to go, I want to go. And I said, I would not give your spot away. I will not nothing. I said, I promise you, I just want to catch a 5-pound spot. I said, at some point, I want to go use Smith because I want to learn it.
Yeah, I want to.
Right.
Education.
You can carry me to shit holes.
I
just want to see how you're fishing it. Because obviously,
whatever you're looking for.
the 10 years that I've been fishing over here, I ain't figured it out. You know what I mean? And Wesley calls me. It's when Christmas time. We had like 6 inches of rain.
The flood.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All the boat docks has left the bank.
Oh, yeah. Everything is like underwater.
Yes.
And he calls me.
I remember this.
Yeah, and he says, hey, Lynn, meet me at the park in the morning if you want to catch a 5-pound spot. And I said, is there not boat houses and all that shit that's like floating out in the middle of the lake? And he said, what are you on? I said, well,
that's right. You fishermen, like y'all used to dodge and stuff all the time.
And I said, what? Are you catching? Just meet me at the park in the morning. What I need to bring, you don't need to bring. You ain't got just whatever rod you're comfortable with. So I was like, all right. So of course I throw 3 or 4 rods in there. Hell, and spinning rod. You know, hell, I had to make sure the line had dry rotted on that damn thing. You know how I hate spinning rods.
Yes.
We get there, and I'm like, me and him idle out of the park. It's just breaking daylight. He runs us on down the lake, and it is just something to see. You know, I mean,
There's stuff everywhere.
Oh yeah, this timber and all this is fell, and all this is floating now. It's kind of like running from Decatur to Gunnersville down.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, it's just
Go to run the tail races.
Mm-hmm. So we get kind of running. You know, we take off down there. Wesley, man of good sense. You know, he ain't got to run 90 miles an hour. He's taking his buddy out here, and he's fixing to put me on a damn 5-pound spot. You know, I knew just the vibe off of him. If I'm ever going to catch a 5-pound spot,
It's 2 days.
with him. He's ready. By God, if he has to throw it out there and set the hook and hand me the rod, he is bound and determined he's going to give me one. You know? So, this is no shit. We pull up to a place, and there's a swing set in the lake. There's a barbecue grill. There is a chain link fence running around the yard to keep a dog in.
Mm-hmm.
There's maybe 6 inches of that fence sticking out.
Ain't there a twig in this too? One twig sticking up.
Oh yeah. So he says, let's go around this chain link fence, and where the water has come up on, you know, like flooded. He said people don't really know it, or he said, he didn't say people didn't really know it, but he said there's a little weird thing with spotted bass. By God, when it floods, they're real curious of this new area.
They're like a kid.
So I'm at Gunnersville again. We got 2 feet of water. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I'm comfortable. This water looks like the top of this desk. It's brown, like coffee, with some creamer thrown in. By God, you can't. I don't even know if it was 2 inches of visibility. Like if you had your lower 2 inches on the wall, you could.
You're back in your comfort zone.
Oh, I'm there. I'm back on the river. You know? Me and him go around the swing. We go around the dock. We go around, you know, we go around, those containment walls. We go close to somebody's basement, you know, where they could back their boat out from underneath this basement and to the water. Like all that shit's underwater. And he's sticking them right and left. And he keeps telling me, he's like, well, you know, man, just, you know, it's just like Gunnersville. Just, you know, just throw. And work your jig, whatever. But anything like structure wise that you can tell the water is new, they're gonna be around it.
Yeah.
So I bet you he puts 3 sacks of 20 pounds in the boat. No lie. And he pulls me up to another place. And he just gets on trolling motor and he said, throw over there, throw here, throw here. Well, I missed one. I'm not quick enough. I wasn't quick enough for him. You know, the largemouth gunners will put a little tension on the line, and I think I could guide that fish almost to where I can almost get it to the damn boat.
Yes.
Smith Lake, it's like a bump bump.
So
You don't set the hook, you're done. I mean, that's something you don't spit it out.
them hooks don't cost nothing.
No. So he brings me over to this one spot and he says, hey, look here. He said, he said, I don't know, I ain't going to say you'll catch a 5-pound spot, but you could catch a world record. He said, this is one of the top hunting holes. This is one of my favorite places to fish. Now, I don't think this had nothing to do with the flooding. I throw it out there 2 or 3 times. I get hit. I set the hook. Missed it. And I said, dude, I feel like a kid, man. Plays fish. You know, because he wasn't fishing. He was wanting me to catch big. Well, he throws a cast out there and he sticks a damn 4-pound spot. He's like, man, I just knew. He's like, look, man, if you just feel the lightest thing, you just set the hook, you know. He runs me on down. He says, I kid you not, man. I caught several fish yesterday or whatever off of this little pine twig. It was literally a pine twig. It was a baby Christmas tree that was probably about 3 feet tall.
And there's a foot of it out of the water.
Out of water. He said, just kind of flip around that thing a couple times. So I flip around that thing a couple times. Nothing. Not a thing. He's keeping me there, you know, and I'm flipping, I'm throwing that thing out there some more, you know, and I'm jigging around. And I said, Wesley, man, I said, it's just you, dude.
Or it's just me.
You're comfortable. You feel good. Like, you know there's a fish there. It's one of those deals to me when I pull up the gunner's phone and everything feels right and I'm throwing a crankbait and I throw 60 fish in the boat in an hour.
Yes.
You know? And he just kind of laughed and he said, I don't know, man. I don't think you may be still overthinking it. I'm like, I ain't overthinking nothing now. I've done seen 30 fish come in the boat as 4 pounds.
There is. There is some in here.
Oh, yeah. And he's just running here everywhere we went. It was like, good God, you got another 4 pounder? You know what I mean? Like, it was just nothing to him. And he just kept trying. Well, around that little pine tree, that little baby Christmas tree thing, that probably had been in the water for 24 hours, maybe underwater. And he just kind of spins the boat back around. He said, hey, I'm just going to, he said, I'll throw a couple and cast around it too. He done gave me 25, 30 cast around this thing, nothing. I swear that rascal throws out there, dude, and he says the hook is like a 5.5 pound spot. It's me. I've got the Smith Lake curse. I'm telling you, like I did. It was almost stupid. It was almost just like he looked over and was like, it's me. And he flipped it in and it was his buddy that eat it. You know what I mean? Like it was like he just knew exactly where to place it. And he kept telling me too. He's like, yeah, you throw pass or whatever. You throw top of it. I am. No, man, I can guarantee there's one around it. You know, it's probably pretty good.
First cast, 5.5.
Big spot.
Did you ever catch one?
I think I probably would have had about 4 pounds and 9.
Big and dinks.
Mm-hmm. Throwing the same thing he's throwing.
Did you swap rod and reels with him?
You know, we probably did. We probably did. But you know, talk about fishing. A lot of it's confidence.
I know. That's what I was going to tell you a while ago about when me and Brian went. When I called you, and like I said, you're in Louisiana down there with the swamp flu or whatever it was from bacteria in the water or something.
Boy,
It's head to us, fishing. Yes. Okay, well, I'm not running them holes, but I'm taking Brian. So me and Brian blast off Jody's tournament, yada yada, some of the same spot where me and you weighed in, the one we caught that I netted. And I said, well, I can't run north. I'm going to have to stay in Brown's. That's the only option I've got. So I go right there to the Mickey Mouse ramp. Me and Brian, I catch 2. They're 3 pounds. Keepers. I'm
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
good. You know, it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
9:30.
yeah,
It
you
started
started
at
out.
9.
You got 2 good keepers already.
I got 2 good ones. I mean, you know, if I got 5 of them, I got 15 pounds. And, you know, 17 to 20 pounds have been winning these. So I told Brian, I said, all right. We'll throw some, and he gets out of Alabama rig. I said, throw that rig around that bridge. Water's clear as it could be. He's got swim baits on from Smith Lake. It's this long. I said, forget it. Get my rig rod. Throw it.
It's weird because
All
when
those
we were catching those when that Alabama rig first broke, if you didn't have 4.5 or 6-inch swim baits, it would not get touched.
Yeah. Well, he's got them little bitty ones on because they've been catching doubles at Smith Lake, like 2-pounders, that double up twos.
Oh, yeah.
No big ones. So he gets it out, and I said, you can try that. I said, but you just throw mine. And I was throwing a big swim bait or a bull shad or something. I don't know. I was probably flipping a jig around one of them pillars is what I was probably doing.
Yeah.
He throws out there and he catches one. 30-pounder, I guess. I don't remember, 4 pounds. I said, okay, we're going to the back here, rattle trap hole. I'll run back there. Of course, I run the mud up in the mud. You do half the time. He's back there, and I turn around, and I said, okay, we're going to fish this boathouse, and then we're going to fish this rock around this point. Okay. We caught another one, and I said, we need a big one. Like, we need a 5 or 6 pounder, Brian. Like, but we got 15 pounds, but that's all we got.
We've
We
got
need
to
a
go
cool
up.
too.
We've got to upgrade.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
So
When you get to having 5 fish at Gunnersville, I really feel like at that point you've got to go big.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
you've
fishing
got
throw something big. You need a big one.
You just hope that one of those 3-pounders or 4-pounders, whatever, is your number 5th fish.
Yes.
That's all reality.
That
It really is.
Yeah, that's good.
I've been at Gunnersville before where I had 27 pounds, got 4th place.
Yes.
In
Well-
July when it was hot as shit.
Throwing
Yeah.
crankbait.
Oh yeah.
Well, we go to the point, your crankbait point, behind the power line. And I said, I'm going to throw this rig out here in that deeper water. You know, it rolls off from like 11 to 14 back up to that point that comes
Yeah.
out. So I'm throwing that rig, and I get 8 a time or 2. No big nothing. I mean, I was throwing back. Brian is throwing a crankbait because he loves a white and purple crankbait. That's a Smith Lake.
That's a
like
Smith
a
Lake,
9.
yeah, purple.
He catches one like a 5-pounder on that point. Don't fishing it the way you fish it. And I said, what is that son of a gun doing out here in February? Like, you know what I mean? I said, okay, we just got rid of a 3-pounder. You know, we're up to 16 pounds-ish. I said, all right, we got 2 hours left. I said, not the bridge. We're going to the bridge. Like, you know, that's fish wasn't supposed to be there.
If I had to get on a ledge or a bridge, that was the way I felt.
Yes.
That's my biggest. That's a chance of a.
So if you
big
remember,
one.
I called you because you wasn't working, but you stayed up wherever you was at. Like you stayed the weekend.
We were doing like 8 days, 4 days
Something.
off. Yeah.
Well, I run my butt to 431 bridge because if you remember one of them tournaments when you fished against each other, I caught 2 6-pounders back to back off one spot right there.
Oh yeah.
So I run a dead. and I told
Mouth
Brian,
reds I love.
I wasn't turned toward the sign. I was turned going toward the park.
Bread. Yeah.
I throwed twice and caught a 6-pounder. I said, all right, Brian, that's it. We're going to weigh in. Like, we're going to get there early. We're not taking no chances. You know, I got 19 pounds. You know, I'm guessing between 18 and 21. We pull up there. We got 30 minutes left. I told Jody, I said, we'll go ahead and weigh. Well, I want to think that Marshall and Gregory and them was there.
Marshall Deacons.
Rex.
I would put Marshall Deacons against anybody on the lake.
On the Tennessee River. I will too. I mean, you got to remember, he won that regional down there when I was down there.
Marshall Deacons is always been a stick. He was one of the guys that I looked up to as a kid, and I got to fish against him.
And he's a gentleman. He's a nice guy.
He is a very genuine person.
Yeah, he's just a good
way
human.
around. Yeah. When you see him, it's kind of like you know Hulk Hogan's just walked into this fishing tournament.
And then he's like, hey guys, how are y'all?
Yeah,
Well,
very
Me and Brian, I'm feeling cocky now because I mean, me and you'd won that tournament with like 18 pounds or something. You know, it's about what it was taking. And I said, I got 18 to 21 pounds. I ain't weighing none of them. I ain't even got coil tags on them. I mean, they're just in the live well.
Yeah.
We go up there and we sit and wait. And I didn't beach my boat. You know, right there you can beach it. I told Brian, I said, just go ahead and go get the truck. We'll just load up. So 7 or 8 boats. You know, there's 20 boats in there, 25. Everybody gets
That
their
was
ways
some
in.
25 tough teams.
Yes. Like
If
Rex
there was
is
10
there,
teams that showed up, Rex Chambers.
Hedrick Hush was there, Jeff Helms, the Jordan boys was there, the guy from Rambo Marine or whatever was there.
Yeah.
I don't know that Terry Mann or one of them. I mean, all them guys was there.
Terry Pryor. Yeah.
Okay, well they're all there, and 16 something's leading. You know, Joey's got his sign.
Josh Butler. I know he's probably.
Yeah, Matt Box was there.
Yeah.
You know, he fished a lot of them. I told Brian, I said, we're fishing to win this son of a gun because we was one of the last ones to weigh in. You know, there's been 20 people weigh in. I said, get that damn weighing back. I said, me and you just come up here and have to give the spot somebody else has been on. We ain't even get to fish the good stuff. And they've got, 14 pounds.
Sometimes a bad spot can be a good spot.
We can
It's
tell
all
you.
the time.
And I've got my chest poked out. I thought, man, me and Brian is fishing to win this because I've made a phone call to a guy stuck in Louisiana or wherever you was at. We walk up there and Jody got them son of guns and poured him in that basket and set him up there, and it was 19 pounds and something. And the guy, Terry Pryor, that's the Marine guy.
Yeah.
The Marina guy.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't think one of them fish is alive. And I thought, man, they was moving around on the live well. I mean, they ain't none of them gassed up or nothing. Like and it was the smallest fish I had. I don't know if me or Brian one caught us. One of them we caught in the morning. The water's 50 degrees. I mean, you can't kill
Should
one.
be good, yeah.
Yeah. And we walked around behind Jody's trailer. And Jody got them fish out and laid them on he had like maybe a tarp out.
Yeah.
I don't remember. He had them out, and that guy was standing there. He was in second. He was in first place till we weighed in. I had 19 something. Won it.
Yeah.
And Jody knew that fish, and he kept saying, man, that fish is dead. And, Jody told me you couldn't weigh in a dead one.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a penalty.
Fish life, you could not. Yeah.
I mean, I'll take a penalty because, I've just beat him by 2 pounds. Like, give me the penalty. And he goes, we can't weigh in a dead one. And Brian Garman's going, do what? I mean, apparently Smith like they weigh them in all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
Well, Jody says, no, we're just going to throw them 4 back on there and say, well, I had, 15 pounds or something. That 3-pounder killed me. And I called you. Do you remember calling Jody?
Yeah.
And you said, hey, man, what just happened? And Jody was like, He had some explaining to do. And, to his credit, because I think Jody's a good guy, he didn't know me. Like, I wasn't a regular.
Right.
You know how this works.
Mm-hmm.
If it'd been me and you, would have won it.
Oh, yeah.
They've never seen Brian Garman, and they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So, they must say we got like 3rd place, and it paid 2 places or something. So, and Brian Garman's never been back to Gunnersville.
Ever since.
Yeah.
I actually worked the weigh-in, or the tub, I guess you call it, before they go on scales one time. No lie. This old man and his granddaughter came up there. This on Gunnersville. And I lay them out, or I dump the bag into the deep well sink, whatever.
Yeah.
And they knew I had seen enough fish. I could tell, okay, I need to measure this one, and there's one that's dead as a hammer, wide-eyed already, like dead.
Been dead.
It's summer. Yeah, I mean, like it's one that you knew they didn't. It wasn't no cheating, no none of that. Gunnersville, I think if a fish floats longer than just like 30 minutes or something, the damn tail's chewed off of them,
Yes. It's turtle bait.
Yeah, so you could tell them, and they'd all been caught. Everything was legit. But yeah, that one was dead. And even its head was kind of caught, a little bit, And I'm looking at this guy that's like 70, and I'm looking at like the 6-year-old girl. But you know me. Fair's fair. I mean, they don't weigh a dead fish. And that's what he told me. Or I told Jody. I think we had a few fish dead in that one. And a lot of people thought it was just going to be an 8-ounce deduction or whatever. And I tell that old fella, and I just kind of scratched my head, and I said, but yeah, it was dead. And he said, well, yeah, I caught that deep this morning.
Straight up.
Fluke. He said it was just a fluke. He said, I think he was trying to retie her or something. And he said, I caught that fish early this morning, first one. He said, that son of a gun's been dead since I put the second fish in the live well. He's legit. You know he is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He ain't hiding nothing.
No, he ain't hiding shit. He said, yeah, I got ice in my live well, you know, blah, blah. I said, well, buddy, we can't. And he tells me, he said, that's only 5 fish I've caught. That's only 5 fish we caught today.
You ain't got another one in the live well by any chance.
No, you're.
Because you know, me and you would keep 6.
In tournaments, we would.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some tournaments where I had 14 in the live well one time.
Yes.
You know, and I told him, I said, man, and I called Jody over there, you know, whatever. And the old man was like, well, they don't weigh them, man. Obviously, that fish is dead. You know, he said, I'll take it home and eat it. That's what he said. I'll take it home and eat it. He said, my live wells are cool. They've been cool all day. I'll take it home and eat it. So I said, okay. We threw his other 4 up there. It's like 22 pounds. He wins by 2 pounds anyway. It was the sweetest, bittersweet deal ever.
Win-win.
Mm-hmm. He would have probably weighed
25.
I'd say he'd have probably been close to the 27 range. Because that dead one was a pretty good one.
Oh, it wasn't no little 30 pounds.
No, it wasn't no dang.
It was a good one.
I even took my fingers and put in the gills before I even said anything to him and just kind of gagged the fish a little bit just to see.
See if it call, flop, move its tail.
If it moves, I'm going to throw it in the bag. It's going to be ready. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
And dude, I'll never forget. And I think there were still several boats to weigh in. And I just kept thinking the whole time, I'm like, please, for the love of God, let them win. But you know, that old man already told me, that's only 5 I've caught.
I got 5.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't like he had called all day and, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Yes.
And he told me, he told me straight up, he said, that fish been dead since 9 o'clock this morning. He said, I caught it. About 9 o'clock when I put that other fish in there, it was dead.
It is what it is.
And I thought, by God, honesty pays off. You won.
Yes, sir. And that little 6-year-old's tickle pink.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's good stories on it, man.
I don't know whatever happened to Jody. Like, I don't see nothing on Facebook or anything.
I don't either. I haven't talked to him in a long time either. The dead fish rule, in my opinion, is really stupid. Because you can't really control it.
It's really stupid to me because it's already caught and it's already dead.
Correct. Yeah, and it's.
I mean,
yeah, and
it's good for the turtles. I mean, I don't.
Well, you know, most of the time there's some guru pulls on there and he says,
I'll take the dead ones.
yeah, hey, if y'all got any extra fish, you know, I'll eat them.
Yeah, and they will.
Mm-hmm. They will.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, it was summertime. It was hot, and he kept 4 other fish alive that weighed 22 pounds. This wasn't a man that was just throwing shit in a damn Coleman cooler.
No.
Like, he was taking care of stuff.
Yeah, he's got rejuvenate. He's got ice in it. I mean, yeah.
Because there were several boats that came in that had 2 fish or 4 fish, and it's like, yeah, well, we had nothing, but well, it wasn't gonna make it. You know, or whatever, you know, little one or something, you know,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
I don't.
Who in the hell don't know that damn fish don't get in there and have a heart attack?
Well, yeah. I mean,
The people that take care of fish the most in fishing is tournament anglers. They take care of them. They want the lake to do good. They want their fish to survive. They want...
Yeah, there's no... What's the win in them dying?
Nothing. You know,
And I'll tell you something else I ain't saying. It just crossed my mind. Do you remember when you used to catch them tag fish that was from $5 to $100 for the tag?
I actually had 3 $5 ones.
Yeah, I've caught one, and I don't even remember where I caught it. I wasn't with you. Had a yellow tag in it.
Yeah.
Straw.
I was... me and Joseph was fishing in the back there on Mark Rose's, where Mark Rose did all that. I know that little piece of terrain, I think, better than I know anything.
You canoed it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, we kayaked a lot, too.
Yes.
So,
You knew every pail was.
I knew every little gap, crack. Because if I got hung up, I reel myself over there
I pull myself.
and get it unhung.
I'm looking at it.
And I'm like, you know what? But I never knew that damn log was laying there with that rock on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You got to actually see the lake. It wasn't forward-facing sonar. I got to see it for
I'm
myself.
looking.
Yeah, it wasn't no. I
can
can look at a
stand
graph
by.
and distinguish what's going. Like I've seen that a lot, you know.
Yes.
You know, and he caught $150 tag fish right there. Summertime. About 2 3/4, maybe 3 pound.
Every one of them was. I mean, you caught. And there was big fish.
They shocked him right out in front of the lighthouse.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you caught them all the way from all reds to all the way to honeycomb to.
It was Auburn.
I think the one I caught was at the yacht club.
Was
Matter
it?
of fact.
Yeah, they were all kind of around Browns Creek area.
Yeah, they was all right in there.
That's
they
all.
never made it to the park.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
crazy. We've had to wait too much, and we've quit fishing.
No.
But I'll tell you a stat that I wanted to tell you earlier when me and you was just goofing off. Did you know Trey looked all that up on Major League Fishing or whatever it is now? Every year that I fished the co-angler side, I made the regional. Every year I fished it.
You did. Yeah.
Like 4 years in a row.
Seminole, Wheeler. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, you didn't go to Seminole. Me and you went to Wheeler.
I mean, yeah, that was the only regional I ever made.
Really? Mm-hmm. As a boater or co-angler?
Co-angler, I never fished the whole season, I don't think. I think I just fished here and there. Back in those days, 200 boats, it was going to be a 200 boater field, period.
It was going to be scrambled.
And if they went anything over 200, they took the people that was in that waiting list kind of.
They took boater to boater, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'd have drew out like Marshall Dickens, I'd have been like, look here, Daddy, you just take us to the glory holes.
Well, yeah.
And you know what else? I would not have screwed with his shit.
No.
I would have never went back to his spots.
No.
I would have not. I would have went, honest to God, would have went and found areas that I thought was
That's what I was
similar.
fixing to say. I would like to see them on a graph or see them with my eyes to know that time of year and what he was looking for. Because he was a genius. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he didn't.
He was, he knew Tennessee
And what I'm saying is, like, you would see him up there and one would come out of Goose Pond and he wouldn't leave that area. Like, he was up in that area. Then you'd come out of Browns down there at Civitan's and he would be in Honeycomb.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he didn't have to run all the way to Goose Pond every time
He knew
catch
that.
it.
He knew every square inch of that.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it was almost like Alex Davis was like that. Jonathan Henry.
Yeah.
They almost knew every. It was almost like pond fishing. It was just, hey, by God, you know what? I started on the dam. I ain't catching them. I'm gonna roll over here. It almost was for some people.
Yeah. Which one of them
Passed
guys?
away.
Yeah.
Jonathan Henry.
The nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, he was super nice, man.
nice.
He had a cancer too. I don't know if people can check this, whatever, but I think his cancer was like a 1 in like 3.4 million.
Yeah, it was something plumb.
It's just so rare.
Yes, I don't even know what it was. I just saw the few posts that he had posted about it, and like he didn't describe it, but you could tell it was something that was. It wasn't treatable or curable or nothing because they didn't know nothing about it.
They could slowly try to like delay.
Yes.
But it wasn't much. I mean, when he went down, dude. I mean, he was.
Yes.
And that was a guy that was a fighter. I mean, he was
Tough.
yeah, damn right. He
Yes.
just loved the lake, man.
And I'll tell you something else funny. There's one of them guys up there that don't nobody like, and I run into him. I parked beside him down there at Lake Seminole. Name some of them. The goofball is not the one that's got the dog with him, but that goofball. Ryan.
Salesman.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's always a space cadet up there if you fish against him in a tournament. Well, down there, Eric had left at Seminole, and I was just parked over there because me and Eric stayed at the same place. Well,
Ryan Salesman's a nut, dude.
Well, what was stupid is he was doing good down there.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, which you don't know where the ramp is, but it's a big ramp. It's probably about like the park, but it's all flat, and you're under a big bridge. You're down there in Bainbridge, Georgia. And he kind of parked up there to the side, and of course, as a co-angler, I didn't have a boat with me. Me and Eric had followed each other in there, but he parked in a different spot. I just kind of parked over in the grass where a boat didn't go. Well, for me to get back to that, my boater had took me over there and dropped me off right beside him. He goes, man, how'd you do? He goes, oh, you look familiar. And I said, yeah, Ryan. I said, I fish in Gunnersville all the time. I said, I fish with Gibbs, blah, blah, blah. He goes, man, how'd you do? And I said, I had 3. That was the first day.
Yeah.
I said, I had 3. He goes, man, you keep it up, you're going to get a check. I said, well, we can hope. I said, I got 3 days of
That's
this.
That's new land, man.
Oh, yeah, it's like,
yeah.
and I've been down there for 3 days with Eric, and we ain't put in the same place twice. There's alligators everywhere, for one thing. You're scared half to death. Well, day 2 rolled around, and I didn't talk to him much, but, he was kind of, we had a Ford truck, and I never forgot what kind of boat. He parked in the same spot every day to put his stuff up. And he was staying at little gyms where we stayed. Like,
Ryan
all
was.
them guides was.
Yeah.
Marshall Deacon and Gregory was down there, and Ryan, and I'm trying to think of some of them up.
Brian Gregory, he don't know me from Adam probably. That's another guy that I kind of studied him some because I'd see him out a lot.
Yeah.
He's an offshore guy.
And he's a big guy, so he's easy to spot. Yes.
Yeah, he's good at it. He's good at this offshore shit. And he's been around Deacon. I don't know. I mean, he may have had that already in him too. But I mean,
they could catch him.
You
You put them two in the boat together, and you better tie up somewhere and watch and get education.
Oh yeah.
But down there, the second day, I done the same thing, and I rode with Eric the second day of the tournament because the parking was terrible. I told Eric, I said, I need 4 rod and reels, man, in my bag. I'm good. We stopped and bought some tackle on the way in there, and of course, that afternoon, I told Eric, I said, let's pull down here and see how Ryan done, because I didn't know this, but Eric had got on the same hump that Ryan had, and they were following each other around. Well, Eric had hooked like 2 8-pounders, but couldn't get them through the grass. The grass down there is like it is in Okeechobee. Like, you can't.
Just thick and
it's
marsh
horrible.
and yeah.
Well, I
You
had
pull
called,
in a fish that weighs a half pound, you may have 30-pound of grass.
yeah, like Eric said, I set the hook and said it never moved. Said I couldn't get to it. I dug through it with a paddle. I couldn't get the fish. Well, we pulled down there, and he goes, "You know him?" And it was funny because you know how dry Eric Forster was. Like, he didn't talk much. He's got 2 dogs.
He shared his Slim Jims with me though.
Yes, that whaler.
He pulled up and he said, "How'd you do?" I said, "Not worth a shit." And he said, "Well, I don't feel bad." I said, "No." He started eating those things. I said, "Is that Slim Jims?" He said, "Yeah." "You want some?" I was like, "Yeah." I held out one hand. He dumped like 2 hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Eric.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, cool dude, man.
But man, we pulled down there and he goes, "That's that SOB that I've been fishing around all day." I said, "What do you mean?" And he had his window up, and I was just to get out and talk to him for a second. Well, I had caught 3. That's the guy I pulled from Okeechobee that we beached the boat the first morning, and I told you that finally by the end of the day, I said, "Will you please, for the love of God, get me over to the lily pads? Like I can catch some with a worm or a frog over there. Like I can get eat."
Yeah, I moved.
He goes, "You just got to throw a frog or you got to throw a worm." I said, "If you'll give me an hour to throw a worm, I can catch it. I can stay in this tournament because the third day you got to be in the top whatever to make it." Well, then Eric gets mad at Ryan. He don't say nothing to him, but he figures out that that's the 2 boats because he had that gray bass cat.
Oh yeah.
Ryan figures out that that's the same guy that they've been going round and around this 100-foot square pad. I get out and I talk to him for a minute. I get back in trouble with Eric, and he goes, "How you know him?" I said, "Man, he's on Gunnersville, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Like, and he's
I
just
fish
a good
with him.
guy.
He's funny. Man.
He is funny.
Yeah.
And I had 3 fish that day, and I'd called him after I told that goofball. I said, "For the love of God, I could see some lily pads over on the bank." I said, "Can I please fish them?" And I caught 3 fish in 25 casts. I said, "Okay, I'm fishing tomorrow. I'm gonna make it." Loop back around.
You're at their mercy too. Is what sucks.
Well, this guy was pretty nice. I pulled out a couple of them. That jackass from Georgia I could have killed when I weighed too much to be on one side of the boat, if you remember. Well, needless to say, I rolled around there, we talked to him, and we go back to the little gyms. Well, that night there's a co-angler walks over there, an angler, and said, he's talking to me and Eric. Eric taking the trailer with me because remember he rented that hut. It was like an 8-foot square block building that you couldn't stay in. I said, "Man, I've got a whole single wide trailer up here that I rented for a week or whatever." And a co-angler walks over, and I'm sitting outside smoking a cigarette. When I smoke now, he goes, "Have you got any kind of plastic that's got red in it?" And I said, "I don't know, but the whole back seat of that 4-door truck's full of stuff." "Well, look, if I got it, you're welcome to it,
Yeah.
Nice guy, older gentleman. I dig through there, and I find 2 or 3 packs of something. I don't know if it's got watermelon in it or whatever. He goes, "That's perfect. I just need some red." He goes, I said, "How many you need?" He goes, I just need 4 or 5. I said, well, no, man. I said, if that's how you, he goes, I can't find them down here. I said, well, here, just take them. I ain't even like 4 packs of them. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I said, well, hell, Eric, let's go to the tackle store. I said, because if he just wants something red, I'm just going to get a Magnum worm for down here. It's in September, and I'm throwing something with some red in it.
Yeah.
He goes, all right. We haul our butt up there. I walked right in there, and of course, it was some brand that was made in Florida. I don't know. Wasn't Zoom, wasn't none of that crap, you know. Wasn't net bait. And I found some darn Magnum 9-inch worms that had some kind of red flake in it. I bought about 4 packs. I said, all right, we're good. And we go back. Of course, we eat and we go over and get half drunk at Little Jim's. And Marshall and everybody's in there eating oysters and just having a ball.
Oh, yeah.
Because, there ain't many of us fishing the next day. Half of them's going home, or 2/3 of them. Eric didn't make it. He left. He went home.
Yeah.
By the time I got half drunk, I said, I need to go to bed. You have no cell phone service there. So I go to bed. I get up the next morning. I still don't know my boat because they don't text you the next morning because they're still calculating everything.
Right, yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
a big deal. So the next morning at 3 o'clock, I get a text. We're on fast time, by the way. So I'm not getting no sleep. Phone goes off. I wake up, jump in the truck. Everything's ready to go. I go get in the boat with a guy. And I don't remember who I was in the boat with that day. And we run all the way to Big Sandy Creek or something. And man, there's freaking timber everywhere. And I said, this worm deal ain't going to work. I'm in 20 foot of water. I said, how have you been catching them? He said, with a swim bait. Well, lucky for me, I had either a half or a 3/4 ounce chatterbait. And I said, if I can get eight, I'll get eight on this green thing.
Oh, yeah.
If it'll get down in the water, most of the time we were in 5 or 6 foot of water, 8 foot of water. I tied that son down, I caught one. I folded around, I said, I'm fixing to do the stupidest thing in the world in September, but I'm fixing to throw this rig. And I got in that timber, and like I said, half the timber's still 10 foot out of the water. I read back in about cast 10. I caught about a 4-pounder on that rig. And that guy said that did it. He was a Tennessee River. He was from Georgia. I don't remember his name. He goes, I cannot believe you just did that. I said, well, that right there probably got me, I'm in.
Yeah.
I kept throwing. I caught another keeper, like a 16.5 inch. And then the end of the day, we went to a boat ramp. I don't know where it was at, with some docks, and he goes, I'm gonna flip these. I said, well, I don't flip. I said, I'll throw it beside him. I caught my 4th fish. So we're like in the 1st or 2nd flight. Alan Gray and all's down there. There's 4 or 5 of the tournament directors there. I walked up there and Alan said, man, Roberson, you done made it all the way down here. I said, I'm a long way from home. He goes, how many you got? I said, I got 4. I said, that's how this year started with 4 with Eric.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good friend with Eric. I said, he's done home. He texted
6th
me
place, right?
Yes.
First one?
First one I ever fished. Nervous as a cut cat.
I love it, dude.
Well,
9 degrees.
yeah, it's cold. And Eric wants to run all the way to Crow Creek. Yeah.
From Browns.
Yeah. I come by you, and you're the baby. I come by you running 77 mile an hour, froze to death. And we fished for 3 hours and can't catch one. We catch them the way you was catching them. But let's say I get up there and weigh in, I'm in 1st place. There's 3 more flights to go. I stayed in 1st place till maybe the last flight. And I think I ended up 11th or something. Mm-hmm. I got to check.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was top 15 for sure.
Yes. But that's how that year started, was with Eric. Yep. And I caught them 4.
4, and then...
It's lunch. How have you and your buddy been catching them? Because you talked to him that morning. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Just for a second. When you zeroed that son of a gun. You remember that?
You damn right I did.
And you walked up there and you said, you got any? I said, I got 4. And you said, you got any big one? You got any of them? I said, I got 2. Eric then said, man, you're getting a check. And I said, man, I need a limit. He goes, I'm telling you, you're getting a check.
Check, yeah.
And I was convinced I was screwed. 13 or 14 pounds. It was the last flight in, too. Did I ever tell you that full story about the time we come back by Goose Pond around the big island? And he said, we're running out of gas. Can you flip them back there? And I had to open, we was running down the lake running 77, and I crawled back there, and that lid opens back to you, and his valve is right in the middle behind his motor, and you have to turn it to the other tank. And when he ain't checked up, I turned it because we was 30 minutes early because he had a limit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Man, we've had so much fun up there.
He got 4th, you got 6th. Is that right? Yeah.
And me and him been buddies ever since.
Yeah. That's one good thing about fishing, dude, man. Like, especially like in those kind of tournaments, you you meet people from so many places, man. You make so many friends, and
Do you remember
so and so's friends with so and so, and so.
Do you remember the day I forgot my tackle bag?
Mm-hmm. That
And
was
I
with
pulled out
that.
that guy with Georgia.
I know that guy. I know that guy's name is Webb. Chris Webb.
Yeah, he's rich.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bunch of mini storage and stuff. We got out there and got to fishing, and I went to pick up a rod, and we was out there, and he had got stomped on a darn whopper plopper, like the first cast out there on the edge of one of them mats. And I looked down, and my tackle bag ain't there, and I thought, hell, I usually sit on it. I said, buddy, can I use your tackle, because mine's in my truck. Like, I don't really know what happened this morning. Don't have no idea. He goes, man, open up anything in here. I had my rods. I tied on one of them whopper ploppers, and I caught one, and then we ended up throwing. I said, I want to throw a worm or a jig. Like, that's just.
Yeah.
But, I think that this right here, people need to know a little bit of something. Me and you fished in the boat. I'd like to know what the Irish, like if we got an iron
Oh, a
meter.
long time, man.
I'm talking about going to the lake, coming home from the lake, breakfast, a doo-doo stop at the Shell to get a biscuit, you name it.
Boy, I'm a morning dude too on that. I'm still on time, right on time, right there.
Me and you never had a crossword, never was aggravated, never, nothing.
As long as you got the damn net.
Yes. Get the damn net. Boy, your wife crawled all over. It was
We
like,
didn't ever finish that either, because you remember we were,
God.
I was at home, and I had a GoPro camera, and I had rigged this thing up to where it would run. Because remember, it was charging as it was videoing.
It's on the windshield.
Yeah, it's on the windshield of the boat, and it was so funny.
And it's got audio.
Oh yeah, it's got perfect audio.
Yes.
Especially with that hole drill on the side where I had to put that plug in, and I mean it was just I just really was like, I'm gonna have a camera, something that's gonna last longer than an hour. If I plug this thing up, and I got this 64 gig or 120, 32 or whatever it was,
It's
I
all
can record
that
all
was
day. And I was cutting those videos for me and you, and we were watching. And I said, listen to these guys. Talking about them two black guys behind us. Listen to them. She's like, yeah, I hear them. I'm like, listen right here. And I'm like, good one, big, big. Get the net, Rich, get the net. And then it was so funny. Whenever we got that fish in there, it literally took you 3 seconds to get the net. You were in position. Yeah, and netted that thing up. Me and you gave high five and everything. I said, when I say I'll get the net, get the damn net. And she said, you're an asshole. That was the first thing she said.
Yes.
She said, not only can you not work with somebody and explain something to him, but you may be rude to him.
And I didn't give it a thought.
And you remember I sent you the video with audio.
Yes.
And I said, listen to this. And I don't even think you got to watch it yet. And I'd already called you and said, dude, it sounds terrible.
My wife's just lit my candles.
Oh, yeah. And I said, dude,
you're supposed to be mad at me.
I said, it sounds terrible.
And I didn't even.
We were on cloud nine. We didn't give a shit.
No.
Yeah, I could have told you, hey, man, screw you.
You could have knocked me in the water. It wouldn't have mattered.
I could have hit you with a rod or whatever. Stuck my Alabama rig in your back and been like, you asshole, you should have had that net already in your hand.
Yes.
And you'd have been like, dude, that was awesome,
Yes.
We didn't think nothing about it,
No.
because it was just like, and I think I was just so pumped up.
Yeah,
that we went from, we don't even know if we might get a check, to I really feel like we're fixing to win. Because I had kind of knew.
You knew the weights before, like you knew what it was taking.
I've been keeping up doing, yeah.
Yes.
And when that cold front come in there like a day or two before that night, and it was like 7 degrees or whatever, and then it was like 29 we fished. But it had been like in the 50s.
Yes.
And it was like these fish.
You knew your water temperature was messed up.
Yeah, I knew it, like everything's
48 degrees.
Yeah, not real confident that morning pulling out. You know what I mean? It was just, it was all of a sudden like,
hey, we got 5.
we may win. We won big fish too.
Yes.
That fish. And the funniest part.
But she had to be dead serious when she said that. You're an asshole.
Oh yeah, she did. She said, get the net. You got the net. I'm like, I don't know, Whitney. I was just in the moment. You know what I mean?
And
she said, that's why I can't work with you right there. Because she'd come out and do a little woodworking thing with me or something. I bet you just bent the shit out of that nail. I'm going in. when I could have just been like, let's pull it and just drive you another one, baby, you know. And I have got, me and her have been together almost 16 years, 12 years married, fixing to come up. And honest to goodness, dude, me and her have never really had any problem. And nowadays, after the last 4 or 5 years, I think, she could go to drive a nail on this table and I'll just be like, hit it harder. I just learned to let little shit go.
Yes.
That was one of my biggest problems, OCD.
Oh, your boat.
My boat was colored. By God, if you pulled out a rattle trap box, them son of bitches were in color line. They were a 1/4 ounce to
Yes.
3/4. Yeah. I mean, and nowadays, I would be that guy that had my cup holders full of lures. You wouldn't be able to put a drink in the cup holder.
We had to put the pliers back in the right spot and burn that holder. Like,
And you know, in my mind, what? Okay, people say, "Man, I ain't got the patience for fishing." I didn't either.
Maybe not.
No, and you know why? Because if I pulled up somewhere and I had the confidence, I could be patient.
But if
But
you
I-
didn't have it,
I kept running around trying to find it. You know what I mean?
yes.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
needed a sign to be patient.
Right. And it's like, whoa, man, you know, I'm hung up on that 8th dot back there. You done been across. I mean, like, I'm hung up back there. Like, man, I'm at the end of my spool on my reel. And by the time I've told you, you've already moved 7 boathouses.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, God dang, get red and blue one up here. Yeah, I'm gonna kick that thing up, 100, by God, and I'd roll up that thing and throw 3. It was really a confidence thing. But I've always felt like fishing was timing. If those pliers are not in the right spot, and I ain't able to get that hook out in time, and I ain't able to throw that fish in a live well, and be back fishing up here, I may miss that fish.
Yes.
It was weird.
And you know, and the only other fisherman I know that I would think is a good fisherman, which I've always told you I thought you was great, was Eric. But he was like that. Now, he didn't care. A rod and reel didn't mean nothing to him. Like, he had some in there that he started fishing with. And like, he'd pick it up and throw it. He goes, I spend my money fishing, not on fishing stuff.
Right, yeah.
He bought a new boat every year because he was a salesman. So he automatically had his sold at the end of the year with 250 hours on it or whatever. But now his process of live well, pliers, that kind of stuff, because me and him fish good together. Like we hit
you
it
went
off.
out with him several times too.
Oh yeah, me and him
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And like me and him fished great together. And like I could just take 3 rods and like 2 plastic containers. And I mean like his pliers or his snip, whatever, you just put them back where they went. He didn't like baits, he didn't want them put back. You just throw them up around the deck.
Yeah, just retie.
That way they'll dry.
Yeah.
And you know, like he showed me quick ways to retie knots. Like some of them knots you showed me, I could tie them, but he'd show you real quick.
Right, yeah.
But we didn't talk about the story about when we did finish, 4th and 6th. The night before, he calls me when I can't get him on the phone and I'm in a smooth panic.
Oh, yeah.
So we're staying up there till late.
He's drew out was he Kentucky or was he Georgia?
It was a Tennessee or a darn
He's
Kentucky
right
number.
on that line.
It's like a 931 number. And
Yeah.
I get a text, and I've called it twice, and I looked at Gibbs, and I was like, man, this guy, I'm screwed. Like, this is gay. Like, this is horrible.
Dude,
I'm not going to be in
mean-
the boat with you. And he calls, and he don't talk much, which you'd have to know Eric Forster to know that he don't
And
talk.
he says,
We're going deep, and all I know to catch him on, I was down here last weekend to swim bait. And I looked at Gibbs, we got back over, and I said, I don't even need a chatterbait. Like, just take mine, because me and you both had 2 boxes.
yeah,
I said, just take mine, because I'm just be stuck out in the middle of the lake and not get to eat all day. So, and I'm mad.
I was even taking powdered coat flat black paint and dipping chatterbait mouse in them. You remember that?
Do you remember when I was
Blades.
special ordering them from Georgia? Like, that's how I got them. And them funny looking underspins that I caught them on.
Oh, yeah.
Well-
Underspin sometimes, man, it's probably one of the most.
It's so simple. How do you
And
mess
it's
it
a
up?
good good bait that almost probably don't get used anymore. That used to be a real winning pattern. That probably could be one now.
Yes, it's like a spook. You know, a spook. Now that
Yeah.
you can go to Walmart and buy them for $4 or whatever they are, but you know, at the right time, that's what I'm throwing. I mean, I ain't gonna have no sexy shad or no kind of $1,700.
It's just in, yeah.
But what's so goofy is me and him got up there and it's 17 degrees that morning, and we fished till 11 o'clock, and he just lays his rod and reel down, turns, looks at me and said, "How you and your buddy been catching them? I've just come by you up there at Baby Cumber."
And I'm over zero.
Yeah, and I
Them
said,
fish went somewhere else. I have no idea. You know, I got third
yeah.
the next tournament up there.
I know.
Off that same spot.
I looked
So
at him and I
weird.
said a chatterbait in about 5 to 8 foot of water, a little bit of grass. He goes, "Okay, sit down." And we run all the way to Crow Creek, and man, we run in that crooked son of a gun. When he lays that boat down, he goes, "All right, we're fishing right here." I didn't even have one tied on. My hands froze. When I got that song,
That was a cold day. That was one thing that killed me in my area. Was it's pretty open right there.
Yes.
And I was able to power pole down and stuff. But I think the bluebird skies and the wind and all that.
And you might have could have backed out. Like,
I may have.
Either right on the
I
line
studied
or right.
that spot out a lot after that.
yes.
Between that tournament and the one I got third in, where I zeroed it, and then I got third,
Yes.
it was kind of like, we know they're here.
They're around here.
We're going to find it. We got
That
to figure it out.
slide, somewhere around that slide,
Mm-hmm.
you'll catch. I sent Trey there and they caught 2 in his tournament. You know that.
Yeah. That spot right there is one of those places I think will always hold fish.
Yes.
No, I do. I think it's just kind of, well, I roll over here to deeper water. I can roll like up here, be shallow. I can go grass. I can go a little bit of ditch. I can go. I mean, it's,
Go over, yeah, I can go over
and it's
and put
all within
400 yards.
yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, till you get to the bluff wall down there.
Yeah.
Then you go around it, you're right back to the same thing. Once you get around the corner. Yeah, Eric showed me how to fish it. It's just, I don't know, that fishing, we'll get back in it. Let these kids get a little older,
Yeah.
which mine are. You know, Trey, I'm in the process of buying a boat. I've got to get the other part took care of, but he is, I'm talking about gun.
Die hard.
Loves it.
I want to take them one day.
Yes.
Whenever you get your boat, I'm going to take them. I just want to go. I'm just going
Oh,
to
we'll
try.
have a
I'm be
ball.
like, yeah, it'll be.
You know what place couldn't have changed none. I'm just telling you, the middle, if it's a crankbait time, we can find some.
It's all
crankbait
different.
fish. You think so?
Oh yeah, I know it is. That lake, I really think Gunnersville is in major trouble.
Why?
All right, I'm gonna throw this out there because I really do feel this way, and I've kind of thought about it and thought about it. Even since I've been out of fishing, I've really thought about it for some reason. All right, 15 years ago, you go to Gunnersville, you find hydrilla, or you found milfoil. Milfoil, more spring, hydrilla, more fall. Okay. There wasn't really this eelgrass deal going on at all. I don't even remember eelgrass at all.
When me and you was fishing, you could find patches of it.
Eelgrass around it's where I was catching my fish at. Around the eelgrass, it's new. The fish are, but it wasn't exactly so much the eelgrass as it was if there was a clean spot close to it.
Yes, it had to be
If you had that clean spot close to
like
it,
shells or
it could have been a hard bottom bank or something. You know,
red
there's something.
bottom,
There's something that's keeping.
anything
You know,
from growing.
yeah, it's clear. Right
Silk
there.
ain't there. There ain't no silk for nothing.
There ain't
to
no
give you root.
seal, there ain't no nothing. You might drop your power poles down. You may have a 2 foot wide window, 40 feet long, and you just fished around that. When those fish got ready, they just come out of that grass, and
They
it
was
was whatever they could see it.
Yes.
You know, so I really think Gunnersville will go to being bad, and I'm gonna tell you why. The eelgrass is the problem, but years and years ago, when you idled these banks and stuff, you had to pick you a specific area. You had red clay on the bank. You had something. You've got this specific. It's like I just feel like there's got to be bedfish here. So when you're idling around and you're looking, most of them are out 10 o'clock. It's about good. Sun's kind of up. I never really tried the sight fishing. You might run up on one or something, but 10 o'clock, 3 o'clock, something like that's good.
Yeah.
Good time you find them.
Right.
Used to, you idle those banks and look for that kind of stuff. You may see a shadow. You may see some kind of a log that's in the water and it's forked, and you're like, there's got to be one laying in that fork.
Yeah.
You know, or this is the hard bottom of my damn graph looks maroon. It's so hard on the bottom.
There's nothing there.
And it was hard. It was tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost more I'm going to stumble on this bedfish, throwing a rattle trap or something, more or less than I'm going to go find
fishing.
these bedfish. Right.
Yes.
When that sun's at a perfect spot about 10 o'clock in the morning, the northwest banks are lit.
Yeah, they're
Sun's
glowing.
on.
Glowing.
You've got eelgrass now. And this eelgrass is all along. And then it looks like somebody took a shovel and dug a hole out.
I seen it with my own 2 eyes before me and you quit.
Menu with Seabold.
Yeah.
We idled those boathouses and it's like, well, there's one. There's one. And a lot of people say, well, it's the tournament. It's going to be the tournament fishermen that are catching these bedfish. I'm not going to lie to you. If I was up here in a tournament for $50,000 and I knew I could go catch 30 pounds,
I need 5 bites.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm in a big fish, you know.
and I'll haul their ass all the way from Crow Creek to Browns.
Yes.
Because there's 50, I'm thinking like there's $10,000 in this tournament.
Yeah.
Not only am I going to catch those fish, but not only is Joe Blow and his buddy that's just going after just a fun fish, they going to catch them too.
Yeah, because they're right there.
And you're basically pulling the chicken off the eggs.
Yeah.
I think the eelgrass is. I'm really thinking.
You know what? I never gave that.
I think it's sooner than later.
Because
Look at how many boats are on that lake.
You can't cross that causeway and not say 20.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not.
And I really think that's going to hurt gunners.
What weight's it taking to win now? Because I've not looked.
I think it would still take around. Man, I've seen some pictures of some boys that's catching the hell out of them on Facebook. You know, I mean, 25 pound plus size.
So it's still taking that.
It is. But as this eelgrass, they don't have any way. Mm-hmm. It's going to eventually.
And see, they don't have a way to kill it. You know, my wife works for TBA.
Yeah, they can't. The only way they're thinking they might could do that would be in the summertime, and they drop that thing about 6 foot.
Yeah.
And kill that bank eelgrass. And then you're still going to have that shit that's going to grow out in 8 to 16 foot of water or whatever.
Yeah, to wherever it can get sun. Because they can't dye it to keep the sunlight off of it.
And I don't know, I just really feel like.
Well, I know that my wife, brother-in-law, used to work for them, and he would fly back and forth when they sprayed. Like, he knew a lot about the spraying part.
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped it because the dam, I guess there's so much stuff to catch it before it gets to the dam, the TVA dam, the Gunners Dam,
Yeah.
that they don't have that problem that they had in 1990 when it was solid grass. You know, any kind of current would pull it all that way. Well, then it would not stop the servers, it cause issues with them.
I guarantee you, especially like you say late fall, late around here, I'd say like middle of October, end of October. Back in the day when you're talking about when that hydrilla and milfoil come up and made the mats.
It was solid.
And you had a big wind that come through.
Yes.
And that stuff is literally just mush.
Yes, it's not.
It would be rough on anything.
Yes.
I mean, it basically like you've got something that should be having water run through it, and you're pouring oil through it. You know, I mean, like it's that thick.
And see, that eelgrass has got so thick that one of our best spots in menu fish that's got that eelgrass on it, where the T-post is at, and the big rock. I took Trey and Wesley and lit.
There's probably so much floating you can't fish it.
The trolling motor won't go through it, it's so thick. I mean, a 101 pound thrust trolling motor will not cut it. Like it'll just pile up on it.
You're basically you're trying to troll through. You're trying to throw. Basically, eelgrass is almost like monkey grass.
It is,
but it ain't just little clump.
But it's this tall.
It's freaking acres of it. You know what I mean? Like and it's
6
taking over the
foot
shallows.
would do that. Do you know how much water would? You know how much land would be exposed?
It would be
I mean,
It's almost going to have to be an agreement between the homeowners and the TVA to say, enough is enough. Let's do this once every 6 years.
Or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. 3 years, 6 years.
But, you know, when they do that, it would also, the homeowners is going to go for it. Because they're going to have a chance to fix their docks.
And
You know,
they're
think,
and they're tired of it.
the lake house we stayed in up there, Father in Law's Lake House, it would be slap out of the water. Like you could.
Oh, yeah. There's been times you couldn't, I mean, like, used to, you could go down to Gunnersville and you could actually swim off the dock.
Yeah.
You would have grass, there'd be a little bit of grass, whatever. That's fixing to be a knot.
No.
Not unless you don't give a shit for grass being all over your legs and everything else.
Yeah, up to your knee.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, that stuff ain't like monkey. I mean, it's grown up half high as this table.
Oh, yeah, it does. If it's in 16 feet of water, even back when I was fishing, some of that stuff looked 3 feet tall or so.
Yes. I mean, you can see it on the graph, too.
The shallower, all throughout from about the end of May all the way through the fall, if it's shallow, that grass, if it's shallow, I'm talking about inside of your
Where did that
boathouse.
grass
and
come
water.
from?
I have no idea.
The reason I ask that is because does the cold weather not kill it? It cannot get cold enough to kill it.
Once it kind of dies, from my understanding, you know, the ducks and everything pull it up, and what comes loose or whatever, it basically, whatever's dead there just refertilizes what's ready to come back.
Just like your yard.
Yeah, like in there right now, it's when that eelgrass would be
Start.
8-10 inches.
Yeah. I never thought about that because I remember the last couple of times me and you sight fished. You could see that.
And the more the ducks pull it up, the more it washes, the more it ends up in these sloughs, and it ends up in these pockets and all this kind of stuff.
It's able to move. Like
All
it
it's
covers
doing-
the whole place.
All it's doing is spreading.
Literally, it will grow anywhere besides the channel.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 16 foot, which is most of Gunnersville. Gunnersville is an average. I think it's about 8 foot average.
Yes. I know.
That whole lake will be grass, and it's gonna suck shit.
Yeah, it will be worth the crap.
Because you
They'll
can't.
do something about it. You gotta
They'll
remember.
have to.
Well, I mean, you got to remember Marshall County Chamber of Commerce, Jackson County Chamber of Commerce, they draw so much money off everybody coming there fishing. If you remember any tournament me and you fished, unless it was a lazy man or something, the Jackson County Chamber of Commerce and Marshall County this and City of Gunnersville this, like, there's no reason to go to Gunnersville to spend the night
Right.
unless you're fishing.
Oh yeah, that.
And
I
for the
mean,
love of God, who would want to go to Scottsboro? I mean,
ain't no
there's
telling how
nothing
much.
there.
They ain't telling us how much revenue and
No.
stuff's brought in from fishing. Is probably Gunnersville. It's probably a lot of stuff.
And I'll tell you something else that's pretty big now. That Airbnb, they had a big shindig at Christmas for my wife's family.
Yeah.
And they were looking for Airbnb. Well, they're so easy to find up there now because, I mean, it's a mountain all the way around it. That's why it holds water. You know, you do away with that. You know, half them people's pulling a boat with them. I mean, go up and down 79 between Goose Pond and Gunnersville.
You can go tomorrow. Well, yeah, probably tomorrow night, Friday night for damn sure.
Yes.
The old Holiday Inn parking lot's gonna be full.
Packed
Comfort
with-
Inn at Scottsboro is gonna be full. That little place beside Waterfront's gonna be full. I mean, like it's
Yes.
all gonna be full.
You're going to go all the way to Stevenson, all in below rinky-dink hotels. I mean, that pulls so much.
Ah.
But
And you know, there's you know, something always comes out. But with that grass and stuff like that, I think the fish will be there. I think it's almost going to get to where it's unfishable.
yes, it will get to where you're not movable.
Anything that's got a treble hook on it won't do.
No.
Because it not only is it down on the bottom, but you got all that floating too.
That floating stuff will make you cuss more than anything, too.
Oh God, there's been so many times, man, I'd pull up on a hump or something, boy, and I can't wait to roll that damn square bill or something around it. And you get up there and you're like,
Can't fish this.
no, they will do is throw a weightless worm. You know what I mean? Like,
Hope
yeah.
for the best.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
But you know, I have never gave that any thought. But the last couple of times me and you sight fished, I mean, we probably pulled down and you could see 4 holes over there in that eelgrass.
You could. And it's going to eventually get like that all over it.
That's never
But
crossed my mind.
I really feel like it's going to kill the reproduction part of it. It just makes it too easy. I mean, it's too easy. And then in the late afternoon, you just roll right over to the other banks.
Same deal.
south, east, banks.
Polarized glasses on. I mean, you can just
See them. You can mark them. There they are.
yeah.
I mean,
All the way back in the morning to catch y'all. Thank you.
I thought about it a lot. 'Cause I love fishing. Fishing kept me out of trouble. And that was one thing.
You know,
Even though I'm not there fishing right now, I still hate for a good thing to go bad. You know what I mean?
I got news for you. I didn't start having no trouble, which that's for another episode, until we quit fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally it did. That was my lead that I could sit in a hotel room and make Alabama rigs, and me and you'd text back and forth and being on the road. And I mean, and now that I live so close to the son of a gun, you can cross the road and be at it in 10 minutes. I mean, I'm right there. I mean, it's just, like I said, Trey's in love with it. Like,
I'd run with it.
I mean, he's actually naturally pretty good. Like him and Riley fish together, he catches most of the fish. Like it's weird. Like I asked Riley, I said, he's trying to be cocky. You know how a 14-year-old is.
Oh yeah.
Well, really not that true. I mean, Riley will say, yeah, he usually catches them. And him and Riley fish like me and you do. Riley wants to go. You know how you was.
Oh yeah.
You're hammered down. I can slow roll anything right behind you. And like never interfere, never cross lines, never do anything. And
There's been a lot of times I rode 10 miles and got out there and threw the first cast and reeled that sucker in so fast back, didn't even put the lure back in the lure keeper, nothing. Was like, let's go, man, it's just not here.
Mate, I'm not feeling it.
And go 9 miles back, you know, It's just a lot of fishing's instincts.
There's no doubt that yours was. And I mean, and it worked. It was.
It worked enough for what we
average,
were
it
doing.
worked.
Yeah, I mean, for what? I mean, we were.
Look at the numbers.
Yeah, we were probably some of the toughest weekend people. You know what I mean? Like that work jobs. And,
Yeah,
you know.
day in and day out. Not to pre-fish nothing or anything else. I mean, yeah. And I wish I knew more about like Wheeler. Like if I bought a boat now living up there where I do, I would go to Wheeler and Wilson some. I'd like to learn.
Wilson's badass lake, dude.
But I mean, you got to, the Tennessee River has got to fish a whole lot of like.
Oh, it does all the way through.
I mean, all the way to Pickwick, all the way from
Wilson,
Chickamauga.
when we caught good fish, say rig instance, we always did good with big swim baits at like Gunnersville Dam.
Yeah.
Pickwick Dam, you done good with like big swim baits. Wilson, that's in between them, it was almost like you had to go back to Smith Lake, but you were catching huge fish.
You had to finesse fish, but that were the ones you caught count.
I saw a guy, Nick Reeves, set up at the damn thing, and he's throwing something white, and God, I'm seeing him catch one every time I pull back up. I know it's a fluke. I'm like, God almighty, it's a fluke. Throwing
It's
fluke.
just a flipping fluke.
I ain't catching shit. It wasn't. It was a scrounger with a fluke. It's just that little bit of difference.
The scrounger.
The scrounger, you know, it's kind of, you got a lot more action. And yeah, I mean, that was really when I'm like, these fish are keyed in. I mean, like, it's weird.
That is strange. I mean,
They're
you'd think
keyed
you could
in.
pull a square bill through them or anything. I mean,
You'd think you could throw a fluke and at least catch one.
yeah, there's got to be one idiot in the crowd.
You know, I'm watching him, he's working it. You know, he's working that thing. And, you know, it's all fair. I mean, hell, if he's
No
on
top water,
there,
you can't get a top water bite there.
you can. I've seen the bullshit get eat. But you had to hold your rod up and reel him where he was waking a little bit. I mean, it just depends. It depends on. I seen a guy up there one time with a damn. It's probably like the smallest fiberglass boat you can get, pulling a smallmouth after smallmouth after smallmouth after smallmouth.
So I've never even caught a smallmouth.
They're not.
No.
Them suckers would jump out of the water and damn look you in the face and throw the lure back at you.
Really?
They're the meanest damn things you ever. Yeah.
I ain't never seen but one, and you caught it at Gunnersville. I know, Rob.
Yeah.
Is that when you
Oh, yeah.
caught it?
We probably ran rock.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
We was always around Rob.
Well, now, Gunnersville, some of the last I fished with the spots. You know, I had a 4.5 pound spot, and that tournament I got 8th in or whatever. 9th. Yeah. You know, I had a 4.5 pound spot. Spots were coming to life in there. I don't know what it's kind of strange because you think about it, you get below Gunnersville, and damn, man, it's smallmouth country from then on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not saying there's not huge largemouth or whatever, but You can't just go to Gunnersville. I've never heard anybody ever say, I'm going to Gunnersville
Smallmouth.
and I'm going after smallmouth. Not for no damn tournament, you wouldn't.
Honestly, the thing that looked so odd when you caught it, I didn't know what it was, if you remember.
Yeah,
So I'm stupid.
it's crazy.
I ain't so great.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and, we're almost on 3 hours now.
That's a long time.
Yeah. All right, look, my buddy Richard's going to come back. And we'll hit some other subjects, but I got we fish from here to down Seminole.
Yeah. But we got plenty more to talk about.
We do.
We ain't Alabama, we ain't Roll Tide, we ain't done nothing.
No. Richard and Jacob.
That's right.
Pass the A1, please.
Yeah.
I'm an A1 guy. I like swallow.
I cook this thing so good you don't even need no sauce.
They got it with your fork.
That's right.
With a handle.
Yes.
You damn right. I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. I was, last week I didn't have a podcast, and that was because my strep throat and COVID. I'll never make it.
Because we had this plan for last week. COVID had you a little under the weather.
Well, there's 3 days there. I don't even remember.
Well, you slept through the day and stayed up at night.
I think I did.
Yeah.
I had no problem sleeping, and I think since Sunday night I probably slept about 15 hours, maybe. Yeah. It's
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday night. Yeah.
You were resting tonight.
Even no meth. I ain't even done no meth.
None?
None. Not one.
Well, I'd recommend if you do some, I'd do a bunch.
Would you?
I mean,
need
if
to.
you
I'm
go
going to the
over
beach
there,
at
go
spring
home.
break.
Don't do a little bit. Do a lot.
Should I wear my Speedo at spring break? Let's ask the 8-ball.
Yes.
Bullshit. It says yes. I swear to God.
I've seen it, so I know it will happen.
Yes. It's going to happen. All right, folks. Next week, I'm going to try to bring one of Alabama's old sorry basketball players on here and talk a little bit about March Madness. Lawson Schaefer. Don't forget to shop Guess 2 merchandise at addisondesigns.us. Use promo code Guess2, get 10% off. Peace out.